Oh, failed to connect to server. Okay, I'll just record it then. Recording. So, we ended last in an odd place where the entire city of Saltmarsh being instantly transported into some heavenly domain, another world, standing around, where you were met by Cirilali, the halfling. She's sort of a goddess of sorts, and at that point, she told Mal that there was a task, and then also that you all needed to deal with the dragon. That the dragon is going to probably come right back to the city if you don't work out some sort of cease and desist ceasefire with this animal. With that said, um, she doesn't have a lot of information on the area there itself. She reaches out though and looks at Mal and says, "Are you ready for your trial?" And then Mal, as she touches you, this sort of cutscene appears where another world sort of appears and you start seeing some background. I'm going to send you a text document though that's only to you.
Okay.
And if I can find our adventure.
He's like, I guess. What's it gonna be about?
Luckily, it's not too much reading. After that, though, she mentions that just over the next hill is Beer Billy Belly. You can't even say it tonight. Beer Belly Billy. There we go. His inn is over the next hill, and that most of the city is already going there. To which Findazzle sort of gives her a quick look, like looks to you hear a muttering, go, "There's 4,000 people," and that everybody's heading over to the inn for dinner tonight, and that
This is
they can.
in her domain or back in Saltmarsh?
That's a good question. That's all she said. It's just over that next hill. She says.
But we're currently in her domain still, right?
Yes, you are. It just looks like grass rolling hills, like the old Windows logon, where it's just the green rolling thing and beautiful skies over it, and that's it.
And remind me the last part of last time she told us. She told Mal he had a quest, or told all of us we needed to talk to this dragon and broker a peace.
That all of you are going to have to deal with this to broker a peace.
What is he?
There it goes.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Finally, I just couldn't remember how Discord worked. Couldn't find your little direct message. 2 weeks, I lost everything. So let's slip into character. We'll go from there. As she mentions the last things before she starts fading away type of thing and says that she has to get back to the end because there's a lot of guests showing up, is that there's a trial and task for Mal, but the rest of you are going to have to deal with this dragon. You could leave it to others, but the dragon isn't after others. I believe it's after something you have.
When you say deal with and broker a peace, how do you expect us to have a discourse with an evil green dragon?
I would expect you walk up to it and say hello. And she says in honest seriousness.
And assuming that he's not just going to blast us all with his green dragony breath?
Poison breath, she says and corrects you. Hopefully not. This is an odd, old dragon who is very patient and has lots of time on his hand to see things work out. I don't think the first thing it's going to do is eat you. It actually has regular audience hours and times and a wait list of people who want to see it.
Well, that's surprisingly efficient for quite an ancient dragon.
I think you'll find it's very efficient, actually, this animal.
I see.
Or mumbles, I just hope we find he's not very hungry.
So,
well,
I do not wish to insult your divinity, but you know what the dragon is here for, yes?
I believe so. I was around the last time these came about. Looks like she's trying to avoid talking about something.
Excellent. Then I assume you're also aware that if you send us to deal with dragon, you are essentially giving it what it wants. put it right in its lap to be taken by force. Correct?
If that's what it wants. I'm not entirely sure that's what it came for.
I would say that is probably it, based on what we have found out. All of the creatures that it sent here are looking for the gnome, because which is in fact not the leader of the party, but is the one they assume to be, because they assume it also has the thing, which would mean that basically sending us to it was basically sending the thing to it and giving it exactly what it wants, and all it needs to do is take it from us, and we will have no ability to stop it from doing so. Is this what you want?
Want? No. And I don't believe it's what's going to happen, though I'm not ruling it out.
Oh, that's very interesting. But you're wagering our bodies on this, I notice.
And she smiles. Well, yes, I guess I am.
Nasir, please. This is a god you're talking to.
So Nasir will turn to Orden and say, "Did I ever tell you why I worship Timora?"
At that point, you see huffing over the hill, waving his hands, is a pot-bellied, young-looking halfling, maybe late 30s, 40s in human years, rushing up down over the hill, trying to get attention as he comes running over. Nasir and Orden recognize him as Beer Belly Billy, the innkeep, and he's like, "Sarah, Sarah!" as he comes running on down the hill. There's a man back at the inn. He's rather pissed. He said something about he needs to talk to you about cheating him out of 4,000 souls, and he starts laughing. She says, "I was expecting that. Well, boys, I hope to see you this evening at the inn." And she sort of fades away. And Beer Belly Billy's gasping, catching his breath, watching her fade away, and then turns around. "So, you guys are just going to walk up and hug it, huh?"
Quick question. While those guys were talking, was this going on in my head?
That happened in a moment of an instant, just a split second.
Oh, okay. It just bam, that's it.
Yeah.
Just to
Matrix download.
Just to talk out of character for a second, I believe last week we were talking about slipping a fake to this dragon. Like a fake orb that it wanted.
Well, the problem with this whole plan is that basically that Cyril Ali expects us to go do this literally now. So there's no time for planning, no time for any kind of subterfuge, no time for anything. We just got to walk up to the dragon and convince it to do something that has absolutely no reason to do. We have no leverage whatsoever over it.
Well,
we could always have someone standing outside ready to break it. Oh, I suppose that's the only thing we could have.
Can we break it? Do we even know that we can break it?
He doesn't know we
Yes.
can't.
Yes, I don't know if we can break it, but we can, and he would know that this threat is real. We can certainly make it lost forever. Mal and I both have, or if we're out of character, I guess, both of our characters have bags of holding, and if the
I see
stuff
where
is
that's
in
going.
one, all we have to do is shove it in the other, and everything in there is lost forever.
Yeah, I was
And that
fishing for it.
dragon
Well,
would,
not
would
forever,
know.
but lost in practicality.
Right. And that dragon would know that that is a thing. I mean, if he's an ancient, even a very old dragon, he's smarter
Yeah.
than we are.
It's the
Presumably,
classic adventurer's knowledge.
presumably he was here from the last time it happened, so he would know that there's no such thing as just a dragon orb. There's the knowledge of making the dragon orbs. So just one dragon orb isn't actually going to do him much good. What he really will want is basically what we have, basically the schematics and everything for how to make them, so he can make a whole bunch to use against his foes.
Or
That's
that's the other
real
thing.
prize.
Does he want the info to use against his foes, or does he want the info to be lost and destroyed so no one can use it against him and his allies?
I'm
Because
sure.
that's-
I think we should have some boys waiting outside this hall or whatever to ready to. I guess I don't actually. I actually have no idea what he's gonna say. So
Yeah, I'd say
Well,
first,
you know what?
first the
You know
latter, then
what?
the former.
You
Yeah,
actually have
so
plenty of
what-
time to organize and plan, so let's move on and you'll see why. We actually,
it's like-
you're
I
not
was-
going
I
to have
was-
to rush right into this, actually.
Oh.
Alright.
Because last week, you literally told us that's what was happening.
And it sort of is, but isn't. So,
Confusing.
anyways, yeah, we're going to find out in the next 30 seconds. So here we go. So, Beer Belly Billy started walking you guys back towards the inn. And he says, "So this is going to be the most people I've ever had in the inn. I think you had like 4,000 folks coming over." He says, "By now I hope you realize the inn isn't a normal inn. If you hadn't been with the company you came with when I met you, you would have found the Carnath Roadhouse, a completely different inn. This one is a bit of on the edge of the Fey and other worlds as well, sort of a crossroads. And unless you've been there, you can't find the place.
Well,
Or
Bill,
unless we brought you.
considering you're married to a goddess, or at least a goddess of sorts, that you didn't tell us about, I don't think you're going to be able to quite surprise us with any more than that.
Yes.
Well, the reason I tell you this is there's some interesting things. We have something coming about this. It says, myself, I'm not into the hearth and home and the hugging and the goodness. My wife, bless her, she's a saint. But she doesn't really travel the world like you and I have. Myself, I'm a retired adventurer. And I don't think this is going to work out the way she thinks it's going to work out. So here's my plan. How about we get some sort of advantage to you? I mean, I believe you can get to the negotiation points. The thing is I can't get you, nor can she actually, right in front of the dragon tomorrow or tonight. The reason being is the dragon has put something around his lair that doesn't let people transport into it. You have to come to the outside and you walk your way in which case that means you have to go through his township. They have a small town there, a freehold, they call it, Dirk something. Not place that they let me. And then after that, you're going to have to get through Auntie and talk to her to get an audience with the dragon. No one gets to the dragon unless they've already met the dragon or they've got through Auntie and she said okay. That's Gnawbones, Auntie Gnawbones.
Wow.
So I'll get you to the outside. You get into the town. Either get in line, which would be a terrible idea because that could take weeks, if not months, or you find some way or another to get an audience with Auntie while you're there. Now, I can help you with negotiations if you haven't done negotiations. I can't be there, but I have some ideas if you haven't done that before. And I'll send you those, give you some notes and ideas on that before you take off. And I could maybe give you a few items and some things to help you along the way to make this a little bit easier.
We'll take any help we can get, Bill, but what we'd really like is a place to lodge up for the night.
Oh, absolutely. The inn. You're going to have a whole floor. You
Whole
remember the
floor?
inn, it had 3 floors to it.
You've got 4,000 people coming, and you're confident you can fit them all on 2 floors?
I know you're probably worried and thinking about the dragon, but you probably missed the part about the inn is in the Feywild.
Yeah, I got you.
It won't be so much a
Hope you want
problem
some
with
eggs.
won't be a problem with the guest eats some of them. Makes much more room.
I'm sorry?
Well, I assume you simply wasn't that the standard way to pay for your inn there? You have to go to feed a monster. That's what you do to us, right? So you're gonna have
Yes,
some
you
more
did. And I
skeletons
did
and
you a
gnolls.
favor in return. And I plan to do you the same favor. In fact, I'm very surprised and actually somewhat proud that none of you have ever called in that favor except for that friend of yours, Halvdan.
How's he doing?
Like out of game, I don't remember this favor at all. But
No, you guys were actually never
Me
actually
neither.
aware of the favor. Halvdan, well, he was doing well, but unfortunately he has passed.
Oh no.
Well, he was 105. I
Oh,
think he did well.
yes.
He did live to a nice long age.
I did tell you this before, yes.
Yeah, our characters knew.
Says,
Because we used the, we viewed
Oh,
him.
that's right.
Yeah, we scryed on
Yeah,
one.
yep.
see, we have a little, I should say I concocted a little drink, and I don't like to talk about it much because it sort of breaks a lot of rules. But this little drink, you might remember it, One for the Road. Run for the Road Home is the long name. If perchance you happen to find a bitter end, that bitterness will show you 2 hours where I'll serve you another bitter here. It catches your soul and brings you here. And then we can talk and work out a deal and get you back home again. It only works for so long and only works once.
Well, he went home.
Halvdan? Well, actually, he went back a couple of times. He came through here a few times. He did have a hell of a time.
Well, good.
The first time he came here and he came and worked for me and did some favors for a year. Each time that number gets a little bigger. The next time he came for 10 years. The next time, well, that was the last time.
Ooh.
Now, if he was an elf, he could have came more often, but
So you said you know about negotiating with this thing.
overall negotiating, it's sort of a specialty.
It just wants the orb. What do we want, guys?
I don't think it wants the orb. I think it wants to keep it from the other dragon.
It wants a horde orb?
It wants to make sure that the power of the dragon orbs is not used against it. Although I'm sure if it could take the ability to make more of the orbs to use it against the good dragons, it would take that. But at minimum, it does not want to have them used against it. Denied to the others.
So that might be a problem. He looks over at Orden. If it doesn't just want, I can't give up the orb. Suffice to say, I mean, we could make.
We're
it
not
want
giving
if
up
you
the
want.
orb, lad.
Nor should you.
Have no fear about that.
And then there's this whole thing of this trial where I've got to, and then, so that's causing me all kinds of problems ahead.
I'm sorry. Spit it out. What were you saying?
Oh, I said I have to, and then
And look over at
and then
Nasir.
I've got to make sure that I don't.
You realize you're grunting as if you're constipated, don't you, lad?
What?
No words are coming out.
Don't try too hard. It might actually kill you, Mal.
Oh, okay. Did I do something wrong?
You
none.
never said what the trial was.
And nor should you. So, I do have an idea to help you with that unspeakable thing. I've got this baton some mates and I made. It was for a strange game we were playing at a battlefield one day. And it's an invisibility baton. And the person holding the baton is invisible. And if you interact with anything, well, you become visible again. But then you can just interact with the baton again, and you become invisible. And so you can pass this around. It was a great game. We'll tell you about it some night. But anyways, my idea is that why don't you take 7 men and only let 6 ever be seen? I recommend Diggle. He goes, oh, he's about Mal's height. Those big folks never pay much attention to us anyway. Might be nice to have an ace or at least a knave in the hole in this one.
What do you think?
Orden looks around blankly at everyone and says, I either got hit in the head really hard and none of this shit is real, or I'm really fucking confused right now.
No, it's quite a lot to process.
Oh, you mean take Diggle with us, the one who told us that the goddess would protect us and help us, and instead she's basically sort of shunting all the responsibility on us to solve this. That Deacon Diggle.
He just sort of
Nasir-
blushes and goes red for a little bit. Well, that's God's for you.
And I can tell you, Tamara pulls his shit all the time, but we know.
And why the hell would it benefit us when we go to see a dragon if he only thought there were 6 of us, other than, being able to generally sneak around and see his
It would be
quarters,
a great
potentially.
idea. Let me just say, it would be a really good idea.
What? Why?
Did you hear that?
Besides, many of us clank too much, even if we're invisible to the dragon and we smell. The dragon would know we are there anyway.
But
I-
Diggy would be
I-
very quiet, right, Diggy?
Oh,
As
yes,
long
I'm a
as you're not
halfling.
saying that I clang and smell.
Let's see how.
So just to reiterate,
Cool.
so what was this spirit potion thingy that he had? Because I didn't quite get all that. I was trying to
Out
write
of
everything down.
character, it's basically a second player coin. You get to come back again one time. The deal is that you age 1 year the first time you get it. And if you decide that's not the angle you want to go, that's fine. You just go on to the next world. But if you die, you show up in his inn. He works at a deal in Fey where you go out and do some errands for a year. And you come back. It's not a year in real world time, a year in your aging time. And you come back a year older instantly and go back. Next time you do it, it was
Fun.
10 years.
To get to hang out in the Feywild for 10 years. Okay.
Yeah, just don't let the orcs do this. It's not going to work out so well for them.
All right, so if
I was worried about poor Merrick.
all right, so if we're killed, we'll just be instantly transported back to the inn and
Yes.
spend a year off screen doing something else.
Well, yeah, instantly. You just become a year older.
Yeah.
Because the time flow is different.
And he said he wants to give us a baton that makes the user invisible.
Yes, and whoever holds it is invisible, and you can pass it to each other.
So basically it makes you invisible. You don't have to hold the baton to keep the invisibility.
You do. It's a relay toy. They came up with it in a game they were playing in a battlefield, and so you pass it to someone, you hand it to someone else, they become visible, you become visible.
Okay. So That means one person. We can have one person being invisible semi-permanently with that.
Yes.
And Orden says, and even though it's beyond me at this point, he arches an eyebrow and looks pointedly at Mal. He says, something tells me that this baton is going to have to be in Mal's possession, and we're going to have to trust. Sorry, that was hard to get out. Trust him implicitly to do some
Big old grin
quest
goes
that
across his face.
he can't tell us about in a dragon
Oh.
lair.
Well, I mean, Sarah Lily did say some things. Ooh, he stops for a second. Sarah Lily did say some things about, me being in the Feywild, right? And he's looking at Billy, trying to pick his words. I am gonna, have to ask you to trust me. And
A
I
lot of
think
silence.
that'd make a really good idea if we had Diggy come with us with the baton.
I
Crickets.
that You'll have to
Let's-
forgive me. There's been a lot of things unpackaged on me in a very short amount of time.
You tell me about it.
Well, let's get over to the inn.
Orden says, puts his arm around Mal as they're walking, and he says, "Don't get me wrong, lad. There are certain things I trust you with implicitly. My life foremost of all. But making intelligent decisions, I mean, it's a stretch."
Hey, what's the worst that could happen? He winks.
Orden gives
Oh.
a flat look.
Oh man.
I loved last week, our last game. You guys had all the fighters were following Mal around, following his orders. I'm like, oh, this is gonna go well.
Follow the short
Charge!
one.
It's Captain Mal.
Speaking of which,
So
keep his
Orden
best
says,
clothes
"By
on
the gods,
Feywild.
we're all gonna fucking die."
He has high charisma. We're willing to follow him anywhere.
Oh no.
So you come across over the top of the hill and you get to his inn. It's a very large place, boisterous, noise rolling out of it, lots of voices. You can see through the windows and all the people in there. Everybody's dining. Some people are playing cards. It just looks like they're having a good old time.
Does it look like the TARDIS when you look through the windows?
Yes, and Nasir, that is Elm sitting there dejectedly on the steps to a side entrance, looking up the road, and her eyes sort of light up as she sees you guys coming down, and she jumps to her feet.
Elm.
She comes running on up, looking a little hurriedly. For those of you well, actually, everybody's of the male persuasion. It's a very delightful sight seeing her running. As she comes dashing on up, Beer Belly Billy gives a chuckle and heads towards the door. If you guys have any other questions, come by and see me, and make sure you come by and see me before you leave. I have some gifts and stuff for you.
So, question before you go, Bill. These, and I'll just ask out of character. We don't have to roleplay this out. These coins, he's just gifting these to us. So we have to purchase them.
The
and
coins.
Number 2,
The
you said
the bitter drafts.
Oh, that's a
sorry,
drink.
yeah.
It's a drink. He's gonna pour you
Okay.
one. It was just a weird green. You remember having it before? Actually, it was a green drink that he gave you in reward for killing the, whatever it was, the undead creature that was in the warlock's room. And you guys all thought you got ripped off at the time because, like, what the hell? We almost all died, and you're giving me a drink. Thanks.
So it's a get out of jail free card one time. Now, I'm assuming our body and all of our possessions remain behind where we died, though? Or
You'll have
not
to
our
ask him
bo-
on that one. Oh yeah, I guess she's right there. So the actual out of character, so we can move along, is that if the party doesn't, they bring you along, or you're not wiped out, then he can resurrect you from a distance, and you'll just pop back up again. If there's nothing there, or it's just too dangerous, you're just gonna get slaughtered the second you wake up again, like you fell into lava or something. Then they're gonna have to pop you in somewhere nearby, pretty much naked, and you'll have to go get your shit. But as long as they drag your corpse out, you're cool. One time.
Got it.
Now wait, was I there? Did I get a drink of that? Was that the
No,
last-
that was the one game you missed. It was our game 0 type of thing.
I know.
And it was because I was throwing such huge monsters or things at the time at level 1ers that I thought I better have a backup plan in case I killed the whole party off in our first session. Hey, game 0, you're all dead.
Hey Billy, do you mind if I have a sip?
So the other things he can do, and you can figure out what you want. I'll just put this in the chat. Is he's an artificer of sword multiclass, and he can make a few things. And he can add these to all your weapons. These are only going to last, though, for 8 days until the new moon, and then they all fade away, part of the Fey stuff. So he can add some AC. He could make one of your weapons, like maybe if someone has a bow, they can turn it, or a hand crossbow, he can make it so you don't have to load it. The javelins could instantly reappear in your hand.
And he's gifting this to us. Like
It
any
only
of
lasts
us
for
we
8 days,
want?
but yes, he's gifting it to you.
So we could all leave here with one of each of these things.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
I get you.
Yes.
The Boots of the Winding Path is the most interesting magic item I've read about in a while. You can, I have to bring it up the thing again, but you can teleport back to anywhere you've been during that last move, basically. Oh, you popped it
Yeah.
up. Thank you.
I just had that one in memory from making another character.
Oh, it was like going, well, this is interesting.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, after the Roll20 character mancer, you can go past level 20. Since these guys were godlings and so forth, I just had fun.
Nice.
Yeah, that's exactly the helm. Helm is like a thing of warning.
Yeah, well, not convenient that I was recently reading over all these different infusions.
Oh, good. All right, well, Elmgit tries to pull you aside, Nasir, as everybody else and starts heading into the inn. And she's waiting for everybody to move along, sort of just waving and smiling and stuff. I'll join you all later.
How's the trading going?
Very well.
Good.
You hear her mutter under her breath, Nasir. Very well indeed, actually.
He raises a brow, waits for her to speak.
She looks over and smiles. Guess who I had the pleasure of spending the night with last night?
All things considered, could have been nearly anyone.
Wasn't me.
You're not even there. Get out of here.
I know.
She smiles and goes, well, a certain Baron Rosnar. It took quite the while to work my way there and get him to actually notice me, but after what you and Mal have been teaching me, I sort of worked my way in and I've found out quite a few things. He was having a meeting in a room upstairs, and I happened to listen in. And then later that evening, I was able to look over his shoulder while he was dressing and get a look at his notes. He's been to where you're going many times. So I guess there's a town there. It's called Dirt Creek, with a K, like the knife, not the soil. And the Zentarum have a really open presence there. I mean, they have a building with their name on the side of it, and the entire town, it sounds like the entire town is evil. They all are ruled by this hag who has minions and so forth who keep the peace, and they consider it sort of like a neutral ground, a marketplace for those who can't go into the cities. So if I understand this, there are orcs walking the streets and hobgoblins dining in the restaurants.
That all makes sense. Gnawbone seemed to have quite the criminal enterprise. I assume this would be her base of operations then.
Exactly. Now, there's a couple ways you can get to see Auntie while you're there. That's what they call her, Auntie Gnawbones. And then the dragon is called Grandmother Chloe. To see Auntie, you either set an appointment, and there's a guy there, Cousin Deagle, I think they call him. Slimy thing, I understand. But if you go see this Cousin Deagle, you can get on the list and eventually get to see Auntie. Not many people actually always want to, because some of the people on the list don't ever come back again. But that said, that can take a long time anyways. The other area that I hear is that Auntie shows up one time a day for an hour at the arena. And if you show up at the arena, and you have a chance of seeing Auntie, especially if you win. Oh, and the dragon. And she's going through her little pockets and pulls something out of her bodice, a little piece of paper, and hands you a piece of paper, and it has like a little doodling on it, and and it looks like a little dungeon map. And she says, "Now this area here on the left, that's where the dragon sleeps, and this area in the middle, this is where you actually get to meet the dragon and see it, and that's where it keeps most of its gold. It keeps the good stuff over where it sleeps, though. Now over here, these things, I think this is where there are other entrances that go into where it sleeps, but they're covered over with giant boulders that only the dragon can move, or something bigger."
Interesting. How did Raz not have this level of information?
It seems he comes and visits the dragon quite often.
We knew he did hire the dragon, but I wasn't sure he was that familiar. Very useful. You've done well, girl.
Thanks.
Next-
Well,
next-
I'm going to enjoy this place for the night. It's, I guess, as I hear, we're all going back at dawn.
Indeed. Next, be safe when you go back, and I'm sure that you will get a nice bonus for next
Thank
week's
you.
pay.
And she sort of skips off on that one with a smile. Okay.
Right, do you have the do you have an actual like a handout for the map thingy or no?
No, it's basically 2 circles with a line between them.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah. I'll doodle something out, though, and put it on there so you have it. But it's going to be a couple of weeks probably before game sessions before we get there.
Does Orden see copper locks anywhere?
Here? Yes. Yeah, she is in the bar. Let's make her the redhead at that bar next to Thorin.
Oh, she doesn't have a token already?
She's here.
We
Oh,
are,
she probably does. You're probably right. Thank you. I'll just drag her on the map.
It's official. We're staying here overnight, though, right? We're resting here.
You're
Yeah,
drinking for 8 hours and magically appearing back where you left, or somewhere else in this case for everybody, for you guys. Here we go. Yeah, she does have a token. Thank you, Nasir.
Do we have to pay for any of this food that we're dining on right now?
No.
Oh, I think we're gonna pay
Yeah.
dearly.
Yeah. The Fae
know,
don't
you
deal
will
with
pay.
coin. There's not a lot of interest in coin by these folks, but
Well, if we're staying here for a long rest, obviously Orden will drink damn near his weight in ale for part of it, hanging out with Copperlocks, trying to enjoy that time, and then he'll study spells and all that as well.
Mal, we never got to go to that festival. I suppose this will be the last time we have to celebrate anything.
Well,
Before
just until we get done with what we're doing here. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. We're in the perfect place to celebrate, don't you think? Hey, Orden, before you do too much magicking, do you want to put some things in this ring here, or maybe Nasir, you can help out too?
What are you looking for?
Well, I don't know. You know, if I mean, I don't think we have much chance to go up against the dragon, but if I can catapult the dragon orb at her just in case, that might not be a bad idea. I don't think it'd be really a good idea, and the other thing that might be a good idea is to have some sort of like shield or something to protect me in case something happens, or I can cast it on. Can you cast it on somebody else, or just you?
Or just give me the ring.
Ooh, I like Misty Step too. That was a really fun one.
I don't have catapult memorized right now.
He seems a little agitated.
I think we all could claim for one reason or another. I don't have catapult prepared, so James, you said the plan is we're told we got 8 hours here, and then we're gonna blink back to Saltmarsh.
or off the headphone mute would be nice.
Billy will send us back. Billy will send us basically to the edge of Dirk Creek.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
About as far as he can on the very outskirts of the dragon's lair.
So we've got 8 hours, and then we gotta go. So I could switch it up and prepare catapult and put one in there, but I couldn't do it before our rest.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you think it's worth it?
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think I'd have to give up something else for it, which would be unfortunate. But I mean, it is what it is.
Well, if one of us has it, that's great.
No, if I've got it prepared, I mean, you'll have it. If I can only prepare a certain amount of power each day, so I can prepare it. I just have to sacrifice something else that is currently prepared, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like fitting so many things in a basket, right?
You betcha.
Hey, Copperlocks.
She smiles. She's just as confused as everybody else is, but trying to enjoy the meal and what's going on.
That's actually fine though, because I can use one of my remaining spell slots now. In fact, Orden's gonna cast a 3rd level. Ooh, I've got a 4th level slot too.
Hey, Willie.
I'll let you know in a minute. He's gonna cast that into that, but he'll tell Mel he will have one prepared and ready to go for him, but at the end of the rest.
Okay, and I'm going to post in game night. This is Findazzle's spell book that he has with him that he could
Oh.
quickly get any of these spells to mind and then put it in the ring in time because he doesn't need the rest.
Oh, Fizzman, he rocks.
Yeah, he's gone up a few levels since you guys all started too.
Oh, yep. Have Fizzman do the catapult. That way I don't have to use a spell slot and switch it up. That's perfect.
Hey.
He had been preparing his spells for getting the factory line going.
Well, I don't know if it would help you, but I don't know whether to do this in character or out. Out of character, my thought is I don't know if it would help Mal to go without armor, but if you had him cast mage armor on you, you'd have 8 hours of actually better AC than even studded leather, and wouldn't have the armor on, so it wouldn't impede you in any way. Not that leather does.
We have that mithril breastplate as well that he could probably wear. I mean, I don't know if it'd be better AC wise.
Unfortunately, that's a medium armor, which he doesn't have proficiency in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be sweet.
I was looking at for Thorin because if we need to be more stealthier, Thorin can wear that, and his AC would be too lower. But
Let me see. Oh, Fizzy's
Well, while you guys are looking at that, let me go around the list and find out who wants what for the items. So I'll just go in the order of the characters on my list screen here. I'll go from the bottom since you guys are talking. So Thorin, which one of these items would you be interested in? The repulsion shield, the repeating shot, returning weapon, the boots, the helm of awareness.
Did you say we could have multiples of those now, James, or just we're picking one of?
Just picking one.
Okay, got it.
And it's only an 8-day load, and then it's gone.
That's why I was like, holy shit. Okay.
Now, if you had to go fight the dragon, then yes.
Come on.
Thorin would probably go with the helm of awareness. He doesn't
That's
want.
what I was thinking. That's a good call.
Either that or repulsion shield, but he doesn't want to push people away.
So I saw in
Womp womp.
in the screen down here somewhere, if you go down in the settings of your character sheet, there is an advantage area there on your initiative roll somewhere.
All right.
Now, does that helmet doesn't give me advantage on initiative, does it?
I don't think it does, but I think the sword
It does.
might.
Oh,
Helm-
that's right. The sword
Helm of
does.
awareness gives you
Oh,
advantage.
the helm awareness. But I thought he meant the helm he was wearing.
Oh,
'Cause
Oh,
he
yeah,
already
the
has
helmet
one.
you're seeing.
Yeah, but check the sword. I think it
that's
might
right,
have
because
something like that.
Yep, because it's a warning.
Yeah, so it'll wake you up, and you don't even have to set a rest or a watch.
That's right. Oh, Rappy to the rescue.
Unless he doesn't like you, and then he'll just be like, "Wake up, wake up."
Oh, you're still sleeping.
So you get killed. All right. Orden, which one of these were you going to take? Maybe thinking. Nasir, which did you want?
I'm
Okay.
thinking. Go ahead.
I'm just making notes, though. Nasir, did you want any of these items?
I'll go last since I don't think any of these are particularly useful for me. So,
I'm trying to think of if he has anything else that might be useful for you.
yeah, like the one thing I could possibly use is Boots of the Winding Path, but I think that'd be more useful for one of the melee characters.
Well, he can make tons of them. He can replicate these. So you don't have to have one. You guys can double up. If you want to have a helm of awareness too, you can have that too.
Well, I
But you already got something on your head, I believe. So
correct. Yeah, and I don't use shields. I don't really use crossbows. I don't use weapons. So I guess
Yep.
I'll just take a boot to the winding path in case they turn out to be useful.
otherwise, he can hand you some healing potions if you want those instead.
Now we do have to respect all the attunement rules for these, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's 8 days. I'm not going to worry about that, except for don't have two of the same thing. Like no two pairs of boots.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the boots too.
I
Oh,
will
because your cloak
go.
gives you spider walking. Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I will go with the repulsion shield. That seems interesting.
And did you already post what that one does, Adam? Yes, you did. I don't have to post it up now. Which brings us back. Thor, we did Thorin. And you guys just write down what you want to do on that one. We'll just move on.
All right.
Diggle.
Mal
Deacon
will take
Diggles.
a couple spells from.
Deacon's going to have the boots too. That might be useful.
Oh wait, we can pick 2 of these items.
One.
Okay.
Orton's already got boots. For him, it's between the helm and the shield. Now, is the repulsion shield, is that something that he can, like, essentially work onto his own current shield?
Oh yeah, actually, yes, I should have mentioned. I'm sorry. He's going to do this to whatever you're wearing. Your boots you have on your feet, if they're not magical, become the boots of Winding Path. The repulsion shield, the shield you're carrying, becomes it.
Shitty as I roll initiative, I'm really tempted to go for that helmet. But as a wizard that doesn't need people on top of him, I think maybe we'll go with the shield.
Yeah, if the enemy has used almost all their movement getting to you in the first place, it's awesome because that forces them away from you. As long as they don't have enough to get back,
Huff,
If you're out of melee.
puff, get up there and you throw him back again.
Right.
Yep.
I've got a character that in one of Saucy's games actually that uses one.
Yeah. Also funny when you're if you position yourself correctly around cliffs.
Yeah, boing.
Nicely done.
Like that video game Lemmings when we were kids. All
Yep.
right.
Those are fun.
Well, does anybody have anything they want to do here? Otherwise, we could skip over this and move on. The end,
You
you get a
can go
whole
over and-
floor. Go ahead.
Talk to Nasir, and then after he got some spells from Diggy, or from Fizzy.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We just have the one dragon orb, right?
Correct. It is the only one in existence.
And obviously, I mean, we can make more
Yes.
potentially, but that's the only one we have with us. Okay.
And I'm reading my. Oh boy. It's like I don't know what to do. I can't give this to him.
Give what to who?
I can't give the dragon orb to old stinky smelly dragon guy.
No, of course not. We went over this. Mal, do I have to hold that damn thing? Do not, whatever you do, give that up to anyone, ever. If it comes down to somebody's life and you think you have to use it, well, by all means, use it. But if you're going to give it to him at full speed upside the head.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I'm just saying so you all know it's not possible.
That's an odd choice of words. What do you mean not possible?
I can't
Or
give
it
this
says, hold on,
to
hold
any
on.
evil.
Overhearing what Billy said earlier, are you sure you should even be trying to talk about this?
No, this is just what I swore to the dragon orb.
Yes. All of you suckers took oaths, which I believe are probably magically binding.
We all took oath? What?
No. All the people that were there at the time. 3 of
Yes,
them
okay.
did.
See,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lucky you.
to answer in character, basically, he's like, "Oh yes, you were not there. In order to gain the orb and all the information, there were several statues they had to swear oaths to. There were four oaths that had to be taken, and 5 people. So I opted out. But all the oaths revolved around not doing evil things with the orbs, not giving them away to evil powers, etc., etc.
I think the only one that cast an oath about the orb was Mal.
Oh, no.
My oath was
All-
I'm sworn to find the land of birth and
You're sworn to find what?
the lands of my birth, find my parents, my real parents.
Was
Well,
that
that
your
doesn't-
oath? That doesn't. Why would they tell you to do that?
They didn't tell us to do anything. We chose an oath. Mal chose the orb. Get with it, Nasir.
Was that really what happened? Because I could have swore all the oaths were related to the dragon orb. They said it's like,
No. We
I'd
chose
have to
our
go
own.
back. I don't even know if we had recordings back then. I'll have to look.
man, that's like,
we
what's
chose
the
our
point of
own
that?
because
I mean, unless his parents had something to do with the dragon orb, and that's why it,
yeah, like
no, it didn't. It did not give us our oaths. I promise you,
Wow.
1,000%.
like that.
We
okay,
got to choose because I remember
chose
being
that.
lost at I'm like, God, what do I want to choose? What do I want to be bound to? Well, I'm definitely going to find out where I came from. So we'll
what a
just
terrible
start with
defense
that.
mechanism. Nasir could have just sworn to basically eat a crusty butter croissant every day for the rest of his life, and he would have gotten the dragon orb.
I mean, he could have
Yeah, but you wouldn't have lived very long.
He
Especially if you didn't eat a croissant.
Monsieur could have sworn to eat one crusty butter croissant at some point in time.
Yeah, that's like, I could have swore because everyone else seemed to basically have made oaths related to the dragon orb to basically defend it, not give it away, not let it use for evil, not let evil take it over, etc.
It was a third level adventure. It wasn't too tough. Alrighty.
He's also
What if
going
you
to pull,
swear that you
pull
won't
Squeaky
die?
back.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. If anybody wants to conjure up their familiars that got killed off, this might be a good time.
Oh yeah.
What's the finest meal they have at this establishment?
Oh, you can have, everybody's having whatever they want to dream foods.
Amazing.
None of it's real anyway, so help yourself.
Oh, damn it.
Now, free food. That was amazing. I'm still hungry.
Oh, this is.
Hey, Horton, is polymorph any good?
I mean, it lets you turn into critters. Depends on what you consider good.
I did that before.
This is sort of Rakir's first time in the Fae, so I imagine he's sitting down at the barkeep. Oh my god, this is absolutely exquisite. He keeps getting food. None of it's filling him up.
He's chowing. All right. Anybody have anything else?
I think we're just waiting to sit around for hang out with and kind of discuss some what we're thinking here with Nasir.
Okay. Well, Billy checks in on you a couple times, helps with the magical items, tries to get your spirits up. Says, when it comes to dragons, especially this one, I think you'll be okay as long as the dragon thinks it's winning the arrangement. Once you start saying no or start disagreeing and shutting down things, that's when things are going to go badly.
Oh, so you mean that all we have to do is give it everything at once? Oh, that's gonna go well.
Oh, you're a clever one. I know you'll find a way through it.
Again, we are going, you are not. So that is very, very easy words. Thank you very much for your help.
I'll be here to catch you in case things go wrong, though.
So, since I'm assuming that everyone's going to eventually gather around, Monsieur is going to finally begin talking. So it's like, all right,
All
Mal, what can
So
you do?
gather around a table.
I know you swore some kind of oath. Is it binding? Is it magic?
We're going to have a Fey trial, something as by trial of the Fey.
What specifically was your oath, Mal?
For the dragon orb?
Yes.
Oh, it is. I swear to protect the dragon. He kind of looks far away. I swear to protect the dragon orb and keep it from evil hands.
All right. So you
Perhaps we can try to skirt around it. The dragon has claws.
Well, I mean, we don't want to give it to him anyway. Hey,
That's
now.
true.
Agreed.
That's a good idea.
well,
No,
if
he's evil.
if the thing the dragon is interested in is making sure that the other dragons do not get to possession of the orb or the information to make them, that is something that we can agree on. Yes. We had no intention of doing that anyway.
Wait. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know.
So I would suggest one thing we do before we leave, assuming you trust this fat little hobbit. No offense, Mal. is that we give both the dragon orb and the information on how to make them into safekeeping, so it is not with us when we go, so that if we do not return, at least it does not fall into their hands.
That's a really smart idea.
Say that one more time.
Me or Mal?
That's a really smart idea. No, what
You,
Sue
Adam.
said. If I mean, I trust Billy. I wasn't there when you guys first met him, but you guys are saying he's good and he's not a bad guy. He's not like gonna take it and give it to old Clang Dong or whatever,
Well,
right?
I trust in the goodness of his heart, but perhaps not in the softness of his head. If he and his wife Sir Lally are basically doing this so haphazardly, so it's like, here, go fix our problem. Good luck.
And
Here's
we
the
know
magic
Sarah
boots.
Lily isn't evil, right? And so she wouldn't hook up with an evil guy.
Would you mind
Correct.
repeating that? I was talking to Copperlocks. I didn't catch anything you said, so I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Ah, I see. Before we go to this place, we will leave the dragon orb and the schematics with Beer Belly.
I think that's smart as long as Beer Belly is staying here, of course.
I would assume so.
And here is somewhat safe from,
Yes.
enemies.
Since here is not even anywhere, then I would assume that the dragon cannot reach it, or the dragon's agents.
I think that's a fantastic idea. Take away the element of risk.
Yes.
Not that I don't trust you, Mal, but
No, that's what I was trying to say. Is
trails off.
no matter what happens, I couldn't give it to her, him,
Yes.
it, whatever. And
So-
so that would take out a piece of the puzzle. She can't use it against us.
Yes. So ultimately, I think, based on all the information we've received, what the dragon's objective is to ensure that the good dragons do not receive the orb or the information on how to make things. So we can say truthfully that we will not do so, and that we do not actually have the anything to give it. So it cannot take anything from us because we do not have it in our possession, and we can say that we will not give it to the good dragons. But at that point, and in return, the dragon will not no longer attack Saltmarsh. The question is whether this will be good enough for the dragon or not. That would require the dragon trusting us. So, what reason will give the dragon to trust our word that we will not do this thing in return for basically the cessation of hostilities?
Well, while magical oaths are on the table, perhaps it can arrange something like that.
Those are kind of sticky.
Yes, I would not wish to have the dragon have some kind of magical hold over me, if we can avoid that. I do not even know that if the dragon has the means to do so. Do dragons have magic such as that? I do not know.
I would only assume if the magic to access the dragon orb was, well, I assume that's dragon magic of some kind.
This is Orden. Is this true?
I will admit I'm not familiar with such things, though.
Sorry, it was what dragon magic? The magic in the orb?
Orden, get your face out of Copperlock's cleavage and come join the conversation.
Hey, this might be the last day I'm on this Earth or any other.
It's going to be the last day on Earth if you don't come here and help us figure this shit out.
He laughs. Fair enough, and tells her he'll be back. I'm reading other stuff, trying to figure out spells and everything, so my attention's wandering. Say that one more time.
All right. So here's the thing. The one thing I can think we can offer the dragon to make as a bargain is it will stop the hostilities against Saltmarsh. In return,
I caught that.
we will promise not to basically give the information about the dragon orbs to the other dragon, so it cannot be used against him.
Sure.
However, that supposes that the dragon trusts us and will take us at our word that we will actually do so.
Caught all that too. I just didn't catch the part that
Okay.
Meta was just talking about.
So what do we need to do? What we need to do to basically get the dragon to trust us? Magical oaths were one of the things that was brought up, and we are not sure if the dragon is even possible of basically producing those kind of magic. Do you know?
If he's ancient, he probably has a couple spells up his sleeve.
I could make a roll, James, but like I don't know that.
Would Thorn have any like background knowledge on dragons, like in that type of way?
That's a good chance to go ahead and roll a nature roll for Thorin, because he used to patrol and work with the units up in that area. So odds are you would have come across either it or its men.
When they ask him, I'll cast guidance to hopefully jog his memory.
No, nice guidance extra. No, you guys never went that way. They pretty much tried to stay away from the dragons area.
Well, that's without the guidance. You could add a D4 to that, potentially make it a 12, but I don't know if that'll help.
It's not going to be a 13 though.
Oh, got it.
There. So that is the first of two problems. I'm going to assume that we're not going to attempt to sneak into to visit the dragon. We're going to attempt to go through Gnawbones, yes? Or do you want to actually take the risk?
I
We
think,
should probably be invited.
yeah.
I think this would be simpler, which means that then twofold problems. One, convince the dragon. Two, convince three, convince Gnawbones to let us see the dragon. And three, get an audience with Gnawbones. The first is at least the easiest one. It seems obvious that they consider the time constraints. We'll have to concede to fighting in this stupid arena, and then basically hopefully win it and not die, and then that will give us an audience with Gnawbones. And then we simply need to convince her that we need to see the dragon, which I assume considering that the mercenary nature of her enterprise, she'll be willing to accept some kind of normal concession, money, magical
Yes.
items, some kind of power.
I'm guessing they know who we are already. They know that we probably know something already, and if we can get in front of Gnawbones, she's going to put us in front of Homeboy
Why would she?
without too
I
much
mean,
trouble.
Gnawbones was trying to kidnap us, was she not?
I think Gnawbones was trying to kidnap us. I believe, either basically at Raznar's as part of Raznar's thing, either she was hired by Raznar or the dragon was having to do this. I do not believe she is kidnapping us for herself. So I don't think she has any interest in us personally, except perhaps tangentially because we are a power in the region. So I think we can do a certain amount of business with Gnawbones and give her something that she wants that is not too onerous in order to earn the dragon's attention. Then the question becomes, what do we give the dragon in order to get it to not attack? So,
Well, it
thoughts?
sounds like the dragon isn't going to just immediately attack us, especially if we have information about what he wants. I think that's a good insurance
No.
policy.
The dragon sounds like it is very urbane. It will at least talk to us first, since they're in office hours. Yes, they cannot eat all of the petitioners, so we'll at least have the opportunity to talk to it first. And as long as we do not anger it, then I believe we'll be okay.
I think these are all the things that we started with, right? We must talk to Gnawbones in order to get to the big guy, and so we're going to get dropped off. We go talk to Gnawbones. We're not going to sneak about it. I think that's about the best plan we can make.
Okay,
Direct,
Well,
like it.
that's all right then. Tell me, what do you plan to offer Gnawbones in order to convince her to allow us to have an immediate audience with the dragon?
The dragon's been trying nothing else but to get us. I don't think we're going to have to convince anyone. This is what I'm saying, that she was trying to have us kidnapped for her boss. We show up, we're here. Of course the boss is going to want to talk to us, probably yesterday.
The
Not
dragon is
talk to
interested.
us.
Yes, the dragon is interested in the information about the dragon orb. When they find out that we do not have this on our possession, we lose value. That's a bad place to be.
Yes, but if we do not have it on us, we have the location. And if they kill us, they lose that location. So we come in with that knowledge.
Good. One of you is
I mean-
thinking.
So just approaching Gnawbones with the information that we know where it's at. I feel that's enough to get us in good graces and get us an audience with the dragon.
Nasir, I gotta be honest, I think you're making this a little overcomplicated, buddy. Let's just
If
get
I,
to it.
well, I'd personally like to think it out instead of just walking in with no plan into a dragon hold.
Our lives are at stake. I agree with this.
if we do this wrong, we
We're
will
at the
die.
same place we were when we started this. The plan
With
is
that,
to leave it here, go talk to Gnawbones, who's going to put us in front of the big guy, and then we're going to negotiate with him, and he wants, or we know
We're
what he
still
wants.
discussing
Not
how we
everything.
plan on having those negotiations go.
from
Remember,
what I
it's
know
not just
from
it's not just our lives on the line. We're negotiating for all of Saltmarsh.
Tis
I'm well
true.
aware. Plan for 10 hours. Best laid plans are going to go sideways within the first 2 minutes.
I feel once we get there, the dragon's gonna have its own terms at first, and it's probably not gonna like most counter offers. But I mean, it's gonna be a tough situation no matter how we cut it.
Agreed.
Well, I
That's
think
the-
we need to turn having us not giving the information to the good dragons into sort of a positive point rather than merely a neutral one.
Yes, that is the only thing that we can really offer. Is basically we can assure that the information does not. We can say we will not give it to the good dragons. However, that requires him to basically trust our promise. So
Yes, well, it's sort of we could try and spin it as saying we were planning on doing that, but if we get some sort of offer from you, we won't.
that could work, perhaps.
It does go a bit more aggressive in a negotiation, but it might at least give us that point of understanding.
Yes. All right, we can try that, and we can try to basically offer the information that we to Nobones that we have what the dragon seeks. So we wish to discuss the terms with him, and see what happens there. And perhaps that would be enough. And if it is not, then we will have to give them something. If I would actually, my suggestion would be we give all the items that Beardbelly gave to us as payment.
Yeah, but wouldn't they? Oh, but
Shh!
they,
Don't don't spoil it.
I'm gonna need you to make a magical oath right now, Mal, to not say.
yeah. Well, he just told us.
That's why we're going to need you to have a magical oath.
But wait, won't those just disappear? Shh, Mal. Shh.
Magical oath, Mal. Magical oath.
All right.
I mean, we've
I
gotta have
introduce
something
you to
in
the
here instead
concept of the pinky promise.
digging around in the bag. You gotta have something like I want the map of the kingdom of the lizard people.
In addition to
He's a 50-foot lizard. I don't think it's quite built to his specifications.
That could
so, just so everyone knows, in addition to what we were talking about here, I did find out something else. And he pulls out the little piece of paper that shows the map and just goes over all the stuff that he talked about, or that Elm told him. So does anyone need that repeated, or were you all basically listening when Elm was talking to Nasir?
How about the 50-cent version?
All right. So basically, Dragon has an evil town called Dirt Creek. Is Lazantarum their evil town? Gnawbones the hag basically kind of rules it. Neutral ground for evil shit to go down. In order to get to see Auntie Gnawbones, we need to get an appointment with her slimy little cousin Deagle. I guess that's like her attaché or major domo, but that's going to take a long time, so we won't have that option. Instead, basically, Auntie always shows up at the arena one time a day. If we win a match at the arena or whatever, we'll get to talk to her. So that's how we're going to do that. Elm gave me the rough map of the dragon's lair, where it lives, where it stores its treasure. It's not super useful. That's it.
Oh, wait, what?
There was a
Oh
back
my
entrance
God.
too. Sorry, I'm
we got
sending
that
text
part.
messages to Mal too at the same time
No
because he's
worries.
asking me questions. Poor Nasir's like, God damn it, someone pay attention.
No, he actually that was for effect. It was in character.
Okay. Sorry.
A map to what?
The dragon's lair. This is where he sleeps. This is where the treasure is, and there is also a back entrance. I do not know what this map is. A little rough, but we could perhaps at least we know that it's there to look for if we choose to do so.
You said something about treasure.
Yes, it is a dragon. It has lots of treasure. We're getting none of it.
Well, Yeah, we don't want to take dragon treasure, but it'd be really fun to go look at those things.
If you no, you never, you know what? Never mind. No, not even that.
Uh, yeah,
Mal,
I
are
would
you
have a
implying
lot
that
of
you're
fun.
going to rob this dragon?
No, I not at all. I'm implying implicitly or no, explicit nothing.
He's just
No.
curious.
Yeah. Once we're all safely home,
Ah,
you can be the last one out to ask the dragon if you can see its treasure.
It would be best if, yeah, dragons don't like it if you look at their treasure.
I would assume not, but you can take the potion once we're all home, and you can ask that question. Then if you show up, then you show up naked and 1 year older, we'll know what happened.
Like the movie The Hangover. All right.
So, if everyone is comfortable with everything we have here, we can move forward.
Um,
Does anyone have any additional concerns? Or any more comments? Anything else you think we need to discuss?
uh, um,
I'm concerned Mal is going to go crazy in the middle of this due to some sacred oath, and I feel like I should just get that off my chest.
This
It's,
this is some bit of fuckery from the goddess, so I would not be surprised.
we should make this as fun of an adventure as we can.
I agree. Look at the bright side. We get to see a fucking dragon.
that's the bright side.
I'm
Gordon
having
says.
I have heard many stories as a child, and all my life I have, yes, a bright side, yes, a fucking dragon.
It is a story. Very few can say they've seen a dragon of that size and age and lived.
I mean, the greens, I've heard of a little bit of the fuckery side, but a dragon nonetheless.
I would prefer if the lives of 5,000 people didn't hang in the balance. It would really help keep the tension off of things.
Yeah, it's true, but you try not to think about that in the moment, and then you come back around to that.
All right. Unless anyone.
So I just want to say, yes, I agree. This is very serious, very serious, and I think we should make it as fun. And something that would be really fun is to see the treasure, and and make sure we come out safe and happy, and we, yeah, fun.
We're all gonna have to pretend like we're this thing's best fucking friend.
You're gonna have to play to its ego.
I think we
I'll
can,
do my best.
based on everything we've been told about the dragon, I think we can simply be upfront and businesslike with it, and I think that will go well. It seems to be very patient, very logical. So I think this one we treat it as a business deal. I think we will have a decent time getting through it.
I think you're obviously the one that's going to be doing the talking here. Maybe if you, admire his amazing brilliance or something, wouldn't go the wrong way.
Perhaps I'm afraid that basically considering his age and obvious intelligence, that he will basically realize that I'm attempting to flatter him and will not appreciate it, without actually knowing the dragon's personality. That makes it difficult to call, but it may work. By the way, I do not think I should be the one doing the talking here. He looks
Are
over
you
at Mal.
kidding me? You're the silver tongue.
This is this
Actually, no. I think that would be really a good idea.
this is not my
Especially
trial,
if,
Mal. This is your
if
problem. The goddess gave it to you. We are just helping you.
so,
My impression is Mal's not going to be with us, quote
I
unquote.
hope, yeah,
Oh?
talking to the dragon is something I can talk to you about all day long. And I'd love to explain how I would love to talk to this dragon and discuss all of its, treasure hoards and everything that we can do to keep it from destroying the town. And I can continue to discuss that with all of you, and you guys have no problems. But there are some, that might not be the best thing for me to do.
Mal,
Could you
what?
explain
Mal,
why? Perhaps.
what is going
No,
on?
I
Because
can't
something is going on.
I can't discuss things that I can't discuss.
It's
I
part
know.
of his little
True.
I don't
halfling
want my head to
ritual.
pop off my shoulders either.
I see. Perhaps we should fasten it on?
This is why we were talking about having to trust Mal, because he has a trial of his own that he is unable to discuss, that he must complete while we're on doing our thing.
Well, if
I say we go with
Nasir,
our
if you don't want to talk to it, I think, and
I
I
will
don't mean to sound. Perhaps Thorin could find some common ground with the dragon.
I mean, I'm not so good with words.
I will do
I'm
it.
okay.
I just simply thought it should be Mal's deal, because otherwise the goddess might be upset with us. But if he is going to be doing something else, he waves a hand, unnamed, then I will do so.
I believe the implications here have been that he needs to go steal something from it.
I would never steal anything from the dragon because
He is
it let
implying
us
that he
into our home.
already owns it. Perhaps.
And I can tell you about that all day long. How I would not do that. I would not steal things from the dragon's hoard, and I would just have to go do something. Yeah, I guess I do have some fun while you
Yes.
guys are discussing things. Maybe keeping
Okay, so
Get his
dragons
attention.
busy in business with
Alright, so-
negotiation.
Nasir just intentionally turns away from Mal to the rest of the group. Alright, so while we are basically while we are here just being a distraction, so that Mal can insert himself in there and be the goddess's little sneak and spy and thief, then we'll just have to make sure we don't get ourselves killed.
And
What he-
save the
what-
town
what-
too.
While Mal
Yes.
does the important work, I see.
I suppose.
At the moment, it seems to be.
Now, the important work is that the town is protected from
The dragon.
the dragon.
Well, apparently it quite isn't, because you seem to have brought up the horde quite a bit and not the town.
Well, no, that's why. I mean, you guys are going to help with negotiations and keeping that thing out of town and letting it know. We're not going to, trade in any dragon orbs, or we're going to give them some of our stuff to not eat Saltmarsh.
So, Mal, are you allowed to take anything with you? Can you tell us that much?
I would never steal from a dragon.
No. Wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, are you allowed to take anything with you that you like in order to accomplish this mission?
Oh, I can bring anything with me I want.
He basically, Nasir raises a hand, and you see Willie sort of spectrally appear, floating above it. Can you take him, her, it? What are you
I
anyway?
don't know the extent of that, but if Willie were to follow me, I wouldn't object. I don't know that I can take him, and talking about things or not talking about things can get splattery sometimes. I guess is what Billy said.
Well, and if
I don't know.
Mal has this rod that they're talking about, I'm not sure how Willie would see him, or how Mal would see Willie, for that matter.
True. That would be very difficult to follow then.
Some
So we're
things I would
taking,
love to check out while I'm at the dragon's house is, where you guys are. I'd love to go and take a look at where it keeps his valuables, and those are some things that I would really find enjoyable in
Yeah.
the
Mal, something tells
Feywild.
me with
Oh.
this trial thing, you should just stop talking, because I think you're just making people grind their teeth as you're talking about
Yes.
how you're gonna do this thing when we're all
Yes.
doing another.
Since we obviously cannot talk about it, the planning will be on your side. So good luck to you. But open your bag of holding. Open it up, please.
He opens it up.
Willie flies down inside.
Ooh,
If
Willie doesn't need to breathe, does he?
no, he
Let's,
doesn't.
Sorry.
If you have need of him, open the bag and whisper, and he will hear you and obey. That is all I can give to you, my friend. Good luck.
Let's make sure we each have a sending stone too, to get a hold of each other if needed.
And I just want you guys to know I really appreciate the trust. And if something happens ahead of time, sorry.
In all fairness, lad, it's not like we have the most choice in this.
Indeed.
That said, I believe you will do what you have to do.
All right. So we have what? I think we have 2 complete pairs of sending stones, right?
I think
That
so.
seems right.
Yeah. So I guess give basically like 1 to Orden, 1 to Mal at least, so they can talk. No, two pairs. Two to Orden, 2 to Mal, so they can communicate twice a day.
Endel tells you that he's actually been specializing in these stones. That's how I've been... Zickle! That's why I've been able to talk to Zickle. Where is Zickle? And he pulls the stone out of his pocket and rubs it. Zickle, we're over at the inn. Where are you?
So clarify something for me, James, or whomever. The sending stones, my read on it is you don't have to speak out loud, right?
I believe that's true.
I don't know. I mean,
Let's look. I'll bring up the directions for it right now.
I'm just thinking I don't want, like, if Orden had to reach out to Mal and Mal was tiptoeing by a horde of...
Breaker,
Hey, Mal!
Where's my Mal?
yeah, it's kind of unclear.
I'm going to say no. I mean, maybe some people find it easier to use things when they talk out loud, but I imagine you can talk in your head. You know, people didn't used to read in their head.
Oh no, it says the creature hears the message in his mind
Okay.
and can answer in like. So yeah, so it's mental
Cool.
communication.
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah, some people don't have inner voices.
Yeah, I mean, back they used to call the places where the monks would write books and read the Bible mummeries because they'd all mumble all day long.
All right. So does anybody else have anything they would like to give to Mal to give him a better chance?
So Findazzle can give you all sending stones, as many as you need. Zickle shows up then at this point. She's very shiny and her clothes are all wet. And she's got like a backpack on and she's walking on into the inn. You can see her and she waves from all the way across the place. Hello, Malatherum.
I am so glad you're not burned to a crisp.
Oh.
Man, this is a great place.
Nasir will get up and go over to her and take both her hands in the Kalmsham greeting and bow over both of them.
She returns the greeting in your native tongue. She says,
Yeah.
I have a couple of these left. I was working on something with an oil of etherealness and a vaporizing mechanism that turned it into an aerosol by the push of the button. Well, actually, I had to break it on the ground, but it actually aerosoled it. I don't know if any of this makes sense to you all. But the short of it is that it's an area effect oil of etherealness. And she looks quite proudly. I was able to save myself and everything inside my front of my shop.
So everything around you goes to a different plane temporarily.
8 hours, 10 feet.
Can you move around?
Once you're there? Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's how I came and found you.
Do you come back in the same place you started, or do you go?
Nope.
Come back
Wherever
where
the
you...
spell ends up after 8 hours, wherever you're standing, you appear. You don't want it to be in a wall.
Can you cancel the effect early?
No, I have no idea how. Maybe a really good shower in the ethereal?
I see.
It was 8 hours.
So it would be good for escaping, but not for inserting oneself.
Exactly.
Actually, this would. He's always thoughtful. This would actually be very good for us to escape if things go wrong with the dragon.
That'd be great.
Dragon? I think I've seen enough dragons for today.
Oh yes, you do not want more of the dragon.
But she hands you 2 of the oil of etherealness. They're a bit bulky. These are not things you're going to put in a backpack, maybe a bag of holding, because it's got some weird mechanisms and things poking out of it, and it definitely is artificer magic.
So, Mal, I'm not trying to get you to say anything, so please don't, but my guess is, what I have inferred, is that Mal's quest, his trial, is to get in there and maybe locate something and get out again, so maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to give him both of these. One to get in, one to get out.
Well, I don't know about being there for 8 hours.
It's
But
1 hour.
No,
Or at
8.
least- Oh,
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, yeah,
Oil
right.
of-
Maybe it is 1. Let me look. Oil of etherealness. If it's 1, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
that's one.
So you want it to be basically just like the oil, but AOE.
It is. Exactly.
okay.
That's all she did. She just turned it into an AoE.
No, I don't think I'm gonna need your guys' help too. I mean, just to stay alive too, and so I've got to get to that area that
What do you mean to stay alive? What
well,
do
I
you...
don't want you guys to get eaten by a dragon, so it might be a good idea if you had one of these as well. How big of an area?
10 feet.
That was my next question. 10 feet?
10 feet in every direction from the point of impact. It'll take the desk, the tables, the chairs, and the rugs. And my books.
10
Though,
feet.
you
So
have to
that would
move them
be,
all.
if it was a 10-foot square, that'd be four people, right?
10-foot radius. I'm assuming you
10
meant.
foot radius, yeah.
So
Got it. Okay.
that's a lot. That's a lot of people. That's 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 people total.
Well, yeah, and I guess maybe we keep one and Mel takes the other. Not knowing what he has to do, I'm not sure, but I would hate for us to lose a Mal.
Yes, Mal, you take you take one.
Okay.
All right, who's
He said, once we get in there, I'm wondering if we should dress Diggy up as me. Because we're only going to go in 6 deep, right?
Well, I think initially Diggy can hold the rod and you can be you, but then when we get towards the big guy, when we get our audience, I think that's when we switch. Yes. Or do you need to switch
how
prior to that
familiar
now?
is the dragon with our group? I mean,
That's right. He did say that everyone looks the same, right?
yes. I mean, if we just bring another short person, no offense,
Then take it.
yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll be able to tell the difference.
that was not actually the dragon. That was actually just one of the little dragon thingies.
But I
So,
mean, how familiar do you think the dragon is with each of us?
I would assume not particularly, but they at least have a basic description.
Well, shall we move this along?
Yeah. Hey,
Man,
Orden, can Knoxbell open any locks?
Yes, sir. But it's gonna make a really loud knock. Everybody's gonna hear you. Are you able? So, I've got a few scrolls here. Tell me what you're able to cast. I don't know what you can and you can't.
Well, that's what I was looking at Fizzy's stuff here.
I've got a scroll of knock I can just hand you. I also have thunder wave, protection from evil and good, water breathing, light, command, bless, arcane lock, large reduce, alter self.
How about silence? Do you have a silence?
I don't.
Because let's think about it as we go.
Well, those are the scrolls I have. If you need me to memorize a specific spell, you'll need to tell me now before we settle down.
I don't know how to make everything quiet, especially if knock were to go off.
I see. I don't. Would that actually? That's a good question. Would that work? Casting. Well, you couldn't cast knock if you were in a silence effect.
Actually, if you need to get past the portal, I believe if we gave you Misty Step, you could do so.
Knock's 60-foot range too. So just don't silence where you're standing, and you could do it. I don't think anybody here has silent.
Yeah, saucy.
So unfortunately, that's not the problem.
What is the problem then?
Locks. Locks
So-
are annoying.
So, do you need to open a door or do you need to open a container?
Locks. I need to open a lock that I can't Misty Step into.
I see. So it is a container then, as opposed to a door.
I don't know what that word is. Can't say what words those are, things like that. This is really difficult.
Yeah.
Hey, it's only
yes.
5d10 if you mess up.
No, I don't
Oh,
have
wait.
silence. Sorry.
Oh, damn it, James.
What?
Because I know what you did and I know how we can fix it,
Oh.
but only out of character.
So, knock should be able to open any sort of container or door. Should be. There may be exceptions I'm not aware of. I don't have a way to silence anything, though. I don't even have a spell to memorize to do that.
So my problem is, if I piss off the old greedy, then I think anything we've been doing is for naught, which means it's time to go ethereal. And maybe we can get some help from the gods after that.
Well, if you need to open a lock, I could give you the spell Crumble, which as long as you aim it correctly, as long as you only if I'm going to make the assumption here, there is since you cannot misty step in past the lock, it is a container. So, if that is so, you can use Crumble and catch the lock on the very edge of it, so you do not destroy what is in the container, but will destroy the lock and many things around it. Which as long as the lock is something that can be destroyed by harm, it could do it. Would this be something useful to you?
Does it work with, say, maybe locks that are special?
As it how special?
As in wizard special? Like, ooh, I'm locking
There's
things.
Oh,
there's different degrees of wizard special, I
as
think.
as long as the lock is not something like adamantine, I believe that it can most likely destroy it. Yes.
Mal, I could also, if you wanted to take up out of character 4 levels in that ring, if you want to take up most room in that ring, I could give you a spell that dispels magic.
That might be a wonderful idea.
Out of character, that's 3 levels though, right?
That's 4 because I only have a 4th level slot left after filling my ring and everything else before we rest.
Oh,
So it'd be a
gotcha.
4th level dispel.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that's gonna do it, but that is literally the highest dispel I can cast.
I mean, one would hope that's good enough, considering that wizard lock or arcane lock or whatever it's called is 2nd level spell.
Right.
But again, crumble or shatter will also probably do the same thing, because I casted it like a 5d8 damage level, which should be enough to basically do in most locks, because just
Well, yeah, let's focus also on I gotta make sure that you guys aren't put in danger.
How about
So
this?
knock is loud. I can't use knock.
all right, agreed.
Crumble makes a sound, doesn't it?
It does, but it is not too loud. It is quite other than knock. Yes, if you're looking for
I
if you're
think
looking for
that
a quiet
dispel magic
solution,
might be a good idea.
So I don't know what else you need in your ring. I am willing to give you my ring if you have room to attune to it, and we've got the time to. I could fill my ring with that dispel and catapult, and then you could put whatever you crumble and whatever else you need
Well,
in
that's
your
the cool
other.
part. If we're not taking the orb, I don't need that catapult.
That's true. Out of character though, Orden would unattune and give it to you. I mean,
I don't know
they're
that I can. I've
fun,
got the ring, I've got the cloak, and I've got the sword.
you might, if you unattune to the sword just for this one, you'd have room. But that's up to you.
I don't know about pissing off Rappy.
then do the cloak.
And I don't think you could drop Rappy if you wanted to, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
No.
What about-
Rappy's got a hell of a willpower.
No, I think well, let's do dispel magic, and then actually, detect magic might let me know what kind of things I'll be facing.
I
That
could do a
sound?
detect, and yep, I could do a detect and a dispel. That would fill your ring.
Okay. I need
It would
you
be a
to put
4th level
things
dispel.
that will be able in your ring. You guys need to be able to get out of there. I don't think we're gonna want to fight this thing.
We cannot fight this dragon.
No,
I'd-
we might have some fighting to do before we get there.
Oh, we will certainly have to deal with the arena, but hopefully that will be the only fighting we'll need to do. But again, also one word of caution: this town is based. This town, while not lawless, is certainly an evil town. So anyone who wishes to mess with us, we need to be prepared to defend ourselves. So there may be more fighting before we even get to the arena. Fair warning.
All right. Well, let's get there. I'll think on it, and I think I have a good idea what to do.
Well,
Again,
we that's what I'm saying. We have to decide now, because as soon as our rest is done, I'm not going to want to spend the power. I have the power to spend now, but any power I have after we rest is going to be power that I'll need to use.
I think those are going to be my best bets. I can go invisible if I need to. Old Rappy can help me with being quiet. If it comes down to it, that could be a bunch of me. Um, yeah.
Done and done. He'll hold out his hand for the ring.
He'll give it to you.
He'll 4th level dispel. No, it casts at 3rd level typically. So remember, it's a 4th level. It's upcast.
Oh well.
And then you wanted detect, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Now, does that make a sound?
No. There might be verbal components, but I mean, that's all.
Well, those.
Let me
No,
look.
I understand. I'm gonna have to say something anyway. But it doesn't make everything glow in the dark, does it? For
You
everybody?
see the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible. So you can use your action to see it. It looks like no one else but you can see it.
Yep.
Okay.
For an aura, I would agree with that one.
All right.
And you have to use an action to see that faint. You can kind of sense where it is, but you'd have to use a reaction to see what specifically it is from the sounds of it. I'll just post it.
Gotcha.
And that's a concentration. The dispel is. I'll post that one too.
All right. Well, I
Okay,
think
well,
I'm good with what I can say.
so
Thank you for your
the
help.
Billy comes back and shows you all to your rooms. Has one of a boy, little halfling, come up and show you up. It's just up one flight of stairs, and he's reserved the entire 2nd floor for you. And there's 9 rooms up there, so everybody gets a room. And there's also a seating area. It looks down over the. Then you can have a nice relaxing, get your any hit points and spells back, and so forth.
All right.
Anything else? Otherwise, we'll start
Yep.
with the boarding.
Yep, in the middle of, well, I guess it's day here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's always day
So-
here, actually.
So in the middle of your rest, one by one, you'll all basically get a knock on your door. When you open it, Nasir will be standing there. He'll just reach out, mumble a few arcane words, and touch you, and just go away without a word.
He's probably collecting hair samples again. Watch out for him.
Ooh.
So, just so everyone knows, basically, since this is basically I don't normally do this because it's a little cheesy, but because it's a high tension kind of thing.
I wondered.
Yeah, everyone's getting a death ward.
Nice.
And Nasir, you asked me to carry a bomb?
Yes,
That's why I gave you the death ward.
yes. Do not drop it, or we'll see you in 8 hours.
It's a little unstable.
I see. What does this bomb look like?
Which bomb? Is this the thing from Zickle?
Potion.
Oh, okay. It's not really a bomb then. It's he
The
will
thorn says,
disappear though. But
Calm down.
and he slaps the 2 powder horns on the side.
All right. You'll be fine.
No, I mean, what am I? I'm asking mostly for me. What am I holding here?
it's a bottle with large sort of bulkiness to it. It has a lot of mechanisms around it. You are told that Zickle tells you that if you take it and throw it at the ground, or maybe even drop it, it will explode and shatter or send out an aerosol, a fine mist of oil of etherealness.
Okay, got
And-
it. It's this bomb. Okay.
Yeah. So the thing was that she had a problem with oil of etherealness is that it takes forever to put on, and so she figured a way to make it into a bonus action.
Oh, so you see. Oh, so just basically, so it'll be item interaction, basically get it out, and then bonus action to just shatter it on the ground.
Right, and then it goes poof, and then everybody gets covered in oil and disappears.
Oh, nice.
Sounds good.
I'm also going to hunt around in the. I assume basically that the inn has like a basement or an attic.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Basement.
All right. I go hunting around there and fill my tiny little boxes with insects.
Okay.
Mal is gonna grab a container of water, a large container of water.
Okay. Insects from the Feywild might be interesting.
Are you asking to get to Mal's Nasir's back door, Mal? I thought I read it. Mal asked Nasir how easy it was to get to his back door.
You have to buy him a drink first.
It's the back door.
So, next morning, then Billy will wakes you guys all up with breakfast out there on the decks out in front of your rooms. Oh, I might as well just move you all over so you can see the floor. It's there. Not that it really matters, but. And
fill up his flasks with beer belly brew, not the special shit, but the tasty shit.
yeah, what you hear is that it seems that everybody seems to be able to walk up to the second floor and have their rooms on the second floor. So, all right.
Mal is gonna swap clothes with Diggle.
Okay.
Give him the captain's hat and all that, and say, just in case we need to pull this off, can you be me?
Well, remember, I think
yeah.
you're supposed to be you for the first part of this, unless you're going to stay invisible for the whole thing.
Oh, that's true.
Either that, let's just get Diggle some clothes, an extra set of clothes of yours.
Or maybe
Well, we have a
a
baton. You could just give that to him.
Well, he's taking.
Well, they
the
are
baton.
going to switch the baton, but if they dress the same, then hopefully people won't notice when
Let's go
they
pay clothes
switch
shopping.
in and out.
Mal will go pick out a really nice outfit for both of them.
That was ominous. I don't know why that thunder came out of nowhere. Okay.
Oh.
Hey, James, why'd the map go all black?
I know. I'm trying to figure that one out.
Oh.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, or to the right, left a little bit.
Did it
Got
work?
it.
Did I
Right,
bring
right.
everybody over?
Yes, sir.
Nothing too flashy.
Mal, are you able to cast Arcane Lock?
What
With
school is
your
it?
Skill set.
I think they would get enchantment and illusion as a trickster, right?
Yeah, I don't have Arcane Lock. I have. No.
Got it. It's
All my native
Abjuration.
spells are Color Spray, Find Familiar, Tasha's, and Invisibility and Mirror Image.
Got it.
Yeah, because that's transmutation, right?
Yeah, the only one that I have that's not is the Find Familiar, but that was so I could have old Squeaky.
There it goes. Map wasn't
Oil
recentering.
can.
Oh, it's actually abjuration. My bad. So funny enough, a Eldritch Knight could cast it.
So Billy shows up, looks a little nervous as he's looking at all of you around. You're all good for this, right?
As,
This
Sure.
as good
doesn't
as can
really
be.
matter.
No, it does not, does it?
Well then, if you're all ready, Findle, I don't take it you're going with him? He looks around. No, I'm not ready for this at all. Then the 7 of you. Well then, here we go. You should be coming in somewhere out in the forest. There's a road that splits that goes back to the high road, and another road that goes further into the forest. I believe that's about where you're going to be coming down at.
Any last words? Something that you know about the dragon that we don't?
It's very, very vain. You probably knew that.
Ooh.
All dragons are.
Guessing his little scaly ass might be the way to get on his good side.
There is also an interesting thing about green dragons you should know. The world starts fading away on this one. It says, whatever you do, keep in mind that they don't really like being dragons. But one thing you should never, ever do. And you guys find yourself in the forest, out in the middle of nowhere, standing there, hearing voices off in the distance.
Really.
Where is there?
Typical.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw that coming.
Yeah, I know.
So green,
How can
green
you not?
dragons don't like being dragons. That's nonsensical but interesting nonetheless.
Well, there's something that we have that could help him not be a dragon.
Could polymorph him, but I'm pretty sure he could probably do that himself.
Oh, I should have copied the characters. I gotta drag you guys all out. There. Oh, and Diggle. Is Diggle invisible right now? Or are you invisible
Yeah.
now?
Diggle's invisible, and we are dressed exactly the same,
Okay.
with a little skull cap hat on, or a little cloak. You know, like let's see, let's find this one here.
Gordon would suggest bandanas across the face too.
Yep. Little painted eyes, hood.
Perhaps we could all wear name tags, throw them off.
Oh, that'd be a good idea. Hey,
I was
I've got
not
some
being
ruby,
serious.
I've got some ruby earrings in here that she might like. He'll
I'll use
hand
this
them
one for
over
now.
to he'll hand them over to Odo. Here.
So,
Thank
you pop down the middle of this forested area. You can see that the road's below you. Right next to you is a campsite of some people who are putting their things together, looking around frantically. You see a group of people coming from the north and 2 more people coming from the south. And there's a nobleman who's just putting some stuff away in that cart right there. And he looks up to you, then looks over to the north and the south and goes, "What the hell? I told you we were lost!" Roll initiative.
James, could you shift click us where we're at? I can't find it. Oh, there we are.
Oh.
Could you maybe make Gordon just a little bit bigger?
No, me and my goddamn big map. Sorry, man. I can't get out of it. I just said, okay, this one's going to be small. Oh,
No,
no.
he is little. He's just minuscule. Also, do you mind if I pull Gary out?
Oh, please. Before
Feel
combat
free to make
begins,
those smaller
Mhm.
if you want to, James.
make what?
Feel free to make those icons smaller. It was super tiny when I logged in.
No, actually, I'm going to change them to default. You and Odo's always seem to come out small for some reason. Makes sense for you, but not a whole lot for Odo.
Maybe I'm just, small for my race.
It's the tiny foot thing. So the group to your north yells out on top of her lungs. Is there a boar among them? Yes. A big half-boar man creature yells out top of, "Hey! I found them first! They're ours!" In which calling voices down to the south scream back and distance in this weird croaking voice, which is all too familiar now of the bullywugs. "Only if you can keep them."
Ah.
And then another voice is sort of elven-like, with an odd accent, which is becoming all too familiar as well as belonging to the drow, speaks out as well, saying, "Well, this will be fun. I'll take all three of you."
Maybe we should let these guys handle it.
Yes, perhaps they've. Perhaps we've intruded on something. We should.
Who's in front of us?
Over to your right, you can see there's a noble and a couple of guards. In front of you is a couple of were animals. You've seen enough of them that you recognize the two half-form were rats and a half-form were boar. The nobleman and his company to the right. The woman looks. Are they talking about us?
I think so.
And at that point, their men all start freaking out and trying to figure out what to do. I'm just going to use them all as one. I'll put him on the counter too.
Wow, my Roll20 is not behaving at all.
That's right. It's Thursday.
Yeah, mine crashes that too.
Yeah, mine's like freezing.
Yep. Give it time. We'll talk about it for a while, anyways.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
loading
see
up.
the little tags on these guys though. That's kind of cool.
The tags.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the new things. Some of them have. Yeah. You can put
I
over
need
some
to
of them.
reload my
You-
Roll20 as well.
Or you might just let it sit. Unless you have a black screen, you might just let it sit. It's a big
Yeah,
map.
I did let it sit and then it froze again.
Oh.
Oh, how big is the map?
6 megs.
Wow. Okay.
Size-wise, if it gets too bad, I'll crop it. We'll just move on. No big. Or do Theater of the Mind. But speaking of which, you might not even need to fight. Let's see.
All right. So basically, we appeared near a group of merchants, and there's boarmen to the north of us, and there's bullywugs to the south of us. Is that right?
Bullywugs and Drow to the south, probably about 100 or so feet. And to the north, not too far away, is 2 were-rats and a were-boar. And they all seem to want to lay claim to this group of campers.
Oh, not us, but to the
Nope,
campers.
you guys just
Yeah.
popped in. At that point, the were-boar sees you all pop in, as you all are, "Hey! Another group!"
Hello there.
You see one of the rare rats is using his fingers and he's like counting the number of you and then looking around and counting the number of them and going through it again.
We're more than a mouthful. You better come hungry or not at all.
I'll take the bullywugs. I've got experience handling these things.
He looks over at the noble. You guys okay? Who are you?
My name's Lord Francis. I'm from Waterdeep. We were just up the high road until this idiot got us lost.
Oh, you're lost, all right. Are we actually in initiative?
Till someone actually does something, then we'll actually go with it. Odo looks like he'll be the one. Oh, no, it's not in order. Well, I didn't roll for these guys yet either, though.
I would
Gordon
suggest
says
you
low.
put yourselves
Do
in
we
the positions
believe
you
them?
want.
Or are they
Yeah.
here for business? And if they're here for business, I say leave them to their own fucking criminal devices.
Well, if they're here for business, they can help us, Orden.
Oh,
so-
they're gonna get eaten alive by 3 different guys who want to eat each other.
I'll look at.
Yes.
This year we'll look over at the noble. Are you here to go to Duck Creek?
No, we're on our way up to Neverwinter. What the hell is Dirk Creek?
You are very
Ice
lost.
Yeah, you need a new guide.
Yes.
Monsieur says quickly. Do we save them or do we save them or just save ourselves? Decide.
If they're innocent, I guess I can't stand to just walk away from let them get slaughtered.
Yeah, we can't let him die.
I agree.
Oh, all right, then. Form up on them. Let's go.
All right, I have to restart the API real quick.
I can't wait to manhandle some bullywugs again.
Do we have time before combat starts, Stacy, to sort of adjust our positions on the map?
Absolutely.
All right.
Move yourself anywhere within a half move.
So like 15 feet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Diggy sheet's not opening.
Hey, initiatives work now. I did, though, make 3 smaller maps. We're not going to get to them today, but at least I have a couple smaller ones. Okay. Nope, I got the wagon in there. All right, thanks, everybody. Let's move them into order. Mal, with your new helmet, or your whatever, what did you have that got you? Just what you rolled, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't have the advantage on before.
Ah,
He's gonna run over, get his crossbow ready, and hold his attack for the first group that looks like it's actually gonna charge.
that
The
will
first
definitely be
creature-
the wares. It looks like they're coming because they're right next to you.
Okay. And I just locked up, so.
That's all right. I know. You'd think I would learn about these damn big maps. It's just I find these beautiful maps and I can't stop. I need
They're
to start
awesome.
cropping. I need to crop them or something.
Hey, James. I apparently can't put double-digit numbers on these things. Gary's 15 feet up in that space.
Okay, I'll use a single digit. We'll know that one square is 1. So I've
Got
been
it.
using a 3 for 15.
I like it.
All
And
right.
He's gonna use half his speed to get over by the horses and start getting over by the tent.
So do you want to make? You made a move. Where'd you go?
Mal used her first half speed move to get up to here to the wagon. And then
Oh,
he
I'll
locked
roll
it.
I'll roll for Deacon since you said you were locked.
Yep. Actually, I'm gonna start it up in a different. It's gonna exit out. Let's see if Firefox works better.
Today I'm in Chrome. Okay. Then it looks like I'm going to move you on since you're locked up if you're done, and it becomes Orden, who never gets to go this early.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I think he got the helm of.
Nice.
No, I didn't.
Okay, he just rolled well.
I did somehow. What is going on? Are they coming, attacking, still thinking about it?
It looks like the 3 to the north are moving in. The ones to the south are slower to walk in. It looks like they want to see what happens to the were-rats. But everybody's advancing.
Now, are the two to the south? Do they look like they're together? The two groups.
No, not at all.
Okay.
We're just gonna keep it simple and see if we can influence them to not continue coming forward. I should fucking move to protect these guys too.
Oh, I guess I can stop the bouncy little music. We're out of the end.
Oh.
25, 30.
Yeah.
He'll move around to the back of the wagon, putting himself between the noble and the threat, and just shoot a fire bolt at the one that's closest. 20 to hit for 7 fire.
one is closest to you, said?
Yeah.
One of the were-rats. Oh, that guy.
Yep.
Okay. Definitely going to hit. Creature screams in anger and a little bit of surprise. Anything else you want to do?
Oh no, sorry.
Nasir.
All right.
You find your looks like you're next to all the horses. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to. By the way, I see you're using the tooltips.
Yes, I wanted to try him out.
Refug.
Oh, did I misspell it? Refugee?
All right. Nasir is going to assess the situation and see that we've got the north. We got the north pretty well in hand, but the south might be a little bit too much. So he's going to basically bark out a few arcane words, and then Rakir, you see basically a scintillating. It's like a scintillating square of light fill the areas around the bullywugs.
Oh, we have a cool art for that.
Oh no. He's
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
nuke
it's-
the bullywugs. I wanted them to go away.
Nice.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get all the drow, and the drow are smart. So if the drow would just start waking each other up, if I can get all the bullywugs, I can eliminate them from the equation.
Knock
Or-
him out.
Yeah, or at least some of them.
There it is. Hypnotic pattern. Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, please.
Nice.
Yeah. So DC 16 will save on all of them. Or sorry, Wisdom save.
Okay.
Wrong edition.
Wisdom save, you say?
Yep. I was recently rereading through all my old players' handbooks to answer a question a friend had.
Oh, that didn't work. I just tried to put it on a map layer and it disappeared instead. I gotta grab your square. I'm trying to grab my bullywugs. Got him. Group check. You said wisdom 16.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't use the right one. Okay, only one made it. And what was the effect otherwise? Oh, it's up here. There it is. Charmed for the duration, while charmed for the spell. Okay, let's just do it again. Darn it. I should have used, I'm going to delete that. Then we should use the apply damage one. It actually puts the stuff on. Okay, we'll say the one in the middle didn't get hit. Cool. All right, you just charmed them all. Except for one. Nice. Oh.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Then I'm
Which
gonna
one is the bullywug that isn't charmed?
One in, I'm going to put tokens on them. Go ahead, keep going, Adam.
Then I'm gonna move over and reposition next to Noble. I'll just quickly be like, get down, stay after the fight. We will deal with this.
Gladly.
And I am done.
Lauren.
All right. All right. Thorn's gonna walk around the wagon and walk up to this rare right over here.
That's the one that is zapped with the fire. Orden zapped.
Mm-hmm. Thorn's gonna use a fighting spirit, and as he's walking up,
All right, you overgrown rat. You chose the wrong fucking people.
Oh no.
That'll do it.
plus 2 damage as well. I forgot to put dueling back on.
So what's it do? 9 total? Or is it?
Yeah, 9 total. Yes, sir.
Yep.
And I got one more with advantage.
Creature hisses, sort of smiles at you as you bring your sword back around. Did you say add advantage?
Yeah, add advantage for that. I use fighting spirit.
Nice. Okay. Well, then looks like that's a critical.
Excellent.
That one is 20 damage on that one, so 29 damage total.
So your first cut slices across his chest. He pulls back a little bit so it doesn't get in too deep, and you can already see it healing up a little bit. He sort of just snarls at you and spits out. And the second one cuts him in half as he falls to the ground.
Well done.
All right. Doran's going to turn to the next two and,
All right, next.
actually, no, that's failure move. He's going to walk up in front of the warrior, to the side of the werebore to give Odin a shot still, and then his turn there.
Actually, that's a good point. Which square is that werebore in? It's kind of in the middle.
Oh, did I put him in the middle of something when I dropped him down?
Let's see.
Oh, are you trying to access Diggle?
I was just looking at his character sheet too, but I forgot. Oh yeah, you're dealing with him. I don't have to deal with him.
Like, fuck, it's not here.
There, he's in a square. Odo.
Okay, I am going to use my bonus action to. I'm going to move. Nope. I'm going to use my action to have 3 butterflies fly out to Thorin and Orden. They're going to land on your shoulders and like kind of disappear into your armor and have like a little tattoo on you. And you are now powered by the emboldening bond. Explain what that does in a moment.
Sounds
One will
fucking
also
cool.
land on me.
Hell yes.
Turns you into a beautiful butterfly.
As long as it's a badass butterfly, I'm down.
As long as you guys are within 30 feet of someone else with one of the butterflies, you are under the effects pretty much of Bless and Guidance. Once per turn.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Faith level rocks.
That's badass.
And I will summon my swarm to me and rise up in the air 10 feet and pull out my trident of returning and wait until let's see if these guys move, if the drows or bullywugs move towards us, and throw an attack at them if they charge at us or act aggressively towards our direction.
Just so you know, at this point, you can see that basically basically a big scintillating light is basically sort of exploded all over them, and most of the bullywugs are kind of just reeling and staggering around, not really in combat shape. Only one of them looks like he's actually active now.
There it is.
Oh God.
I'll get rid of it in a moment.
Yeah, and if like the drows attack or if that one bullywug like charges at us, then I'll huck my trident at him. And that should be the end of my turn.
Run, other bullywog.
Deacon Diggle.
Diggy is gonna make his way towards the middle of where everybody else is. What's his
Okay.
move?
Probably same as yours.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever get? Oh, you got his character sheet open finally. Okay.
Yep. That's as far as he can go.
Okay. Well, he could dash if he's not gonna do something else, but go
Oh,
ahead.
that's right.
Especially since he's invisible.
Let's move up to there. Yep.
The head of the drow hisses out to his men, "To the trees!" He disappears into the bushes. Too far. Okay. And I can do a dash. He joins him. He was supposed to be further. Come on, guys. I'm going to have all these guys go at the same time. At this point, they all start rushing around, grabbing things. The nobleman pulls out his sword. The guards all pull weapons. One guard heads you've gone this, so the guards head down this direction. One almost bumps into Deegan as he goes rushing by you. These two folks fall backwards. They're just porters, common men with a lady, a young person, a real old person, and they all fall back a little bit, frantically trying to find something to fight with. And the nobleman prepares his sword and pulls out starts pulling out a crossbow, trying to get it ready. And the boar.
This guy that's right in the line.
Oh, poor little guy. Yeah, he climbs underneath there.
Okay.
He's hiding underneath the wagon now with his head on the ground, sort of mumbling over and over again. They can't see me, can't see me, can't see me.
Heart of a lion, that one.
Yeah. The wereboar snarls at you, Thorin. I'm gonna make you pay for that! If I can open up his token. No, we'll just send her the map instead. Come on, open up. Swings the maul at you. Misses completely. Then the snarling tries to rip up with his tusks and grab you on a sort of flinging his head back after swinging and missing. Misses terribly with that as well. And snarls in anger.
All right.
He's dead. Let's move him.
Sorry, James, I missed. Was that does that boar have reach, or did he move up on him?
Oh, he moved up. Sorry. And last
I
one.
only asked is the distance of.
I gotcha. I know we got another one of these giant maps again. All right, he runs into the woods. Is this by chance the one bullywug who wasn't in? And he goes charging forward, walks about 15 feet, and looks over his shoulder and sees he's the only one running. Exact. Let's make an intelligence roll. DC, I'll give him a 15. He just stops at that point and stares, his arm sort of loose at his side. One of the weapons sort of dragging in the dirt, his head cocked to the side, looking back at everybody in the glowing area. Croak something.
But their area isn't glowing anymore.
Oh, okay, well, good.
Yeah, it's just like
get this out of here.
Yeah, it's just an instantaneous effect. So right now his friends are just sort of like
standing there. So now all four of them are standing there staring at each other. Nice job on that, by the way. One, two, three, and then he slides on up behind you. Again, tries to slide his short sword up and it's underneath your armor. Is 18 getting through, Thorin?
No, sir.
I don't think so. In frustration, he takes another swing at you with it as well. Oh hell, he tries to bite you. No, just swing again. And that's not going to hit either.
Horned.
Heck yeah.
Off the were Dragonborn.
I mean, I prefer not to be a were rat though.
Yeah, that's sort of sad.
Rat dragon.
I am a shapeshifter. I can turn a squeaky little animal. Okay, and Rick here.
Let's see here. How close can I get to this bullywug? Doesn't want to go any further. Yeah, I can get right there. So I'm just gonna. This is as far as I can move towards it, and I'm gonna ready. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to ready an attack. If he comes any closer to me.
You're so close to him. Yeah, 5 feet.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say, go on, get out of here, take your friends and go. And then, yeah, that'll be it. That'll be all I do this turn.
Okay. Whenever you're ready. These guys don't get to go, but they get a save or something at the end of the round.
Nope.
Just for the whole 1 minute or till someone pokes at them.
Yep, pretty much. That's
Yeah.
what makes Hypnotic Pattern so strong.
Yep, and that one bullywug wasn't smart enough to figure that out, so he's just standing there staring at all his friends. And we're done with him. Off to Gary at the very, very end. Gary, what happened?
40 to there, including the 10 feet to come down. And he will fly into the face of this were-rat and flap his wings around, distract him, provide the help action. And then 5, 10, 15, 20. The rest of his movement, he'll move 10 feet away and fly back up 10 more feet too. That'll be it.
Okay.
Mal's going to.
Oh my god. All the were-rats actually have names.
It was a very quiet week for me.
I guess. Durst McKinns, Smash, and Filligan Trite.
Yes, you guys killed Durst.
Oh, poor Durst.
Where are you seeing the names? I don't know.
Hover the mouse over him. I was trying out the new
Oh,
pop-up things.
nice.
Mal's going to rush up, take a swing at the were-rat. Crappy. Armor class 13.
He got advantage because he's got the help action.
Oh,
Gary,
Nice.
5.
That'll do.
For 20 points.
It's like minimum sneak damage, isn't it? Oh no, it's just there's a 1 in there.
Oh, that's damage.
20 points. You wound him deeply, but he doesn't go down.
Alright.
Creature
Maybe
screams as the thing goes all the way through him.
He'll teleport 15 feet back over here.
You hear a sound of glee amusement come from your sword as you bounce off somewhere.
Surprise! I like these boots, guys.
Thorin.
You mean Orden?
Yeah.
Orden, sorry.
Sorry, I'm just trying to decide if I want to. We'll just keep it simple again and go ahead and firebolt the were-rat that's already injured. Looks like we got this well enough in hand. No reason to blow a bunch of power at it.
We keep in mind the drow in the south haven't acted yet.
I know, Orden. I thought about that, but I don't know that Orden would have even known that they were there. And if he did, he saw them run into the trees. So he'd rather be. Okay, let's take care of things first. Might not be there. God damn it, it's been pretty shitty with this. Seven points, take it out, James.
7, no, but it does hurt him. Just a look of panic starting to go over his eyes.
I think
He's yelling out, "Smash!"
who did you took it at the were rat, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just yelling for Smash's help. He sounds in desperate need.
Got it. Got it. Shit, I should
Which,
keep...
if you hover over the wereboar, you'll find that that's his name. Don't expect a lot of these, but it's having fun.
Yeah, I think that'll do it. Definitely nothing sexy, but
Okay. Nasir.
Nasir's going to look and see that Rakir's got the things going well to the south. I take it since you haven't moved them more, the drow aren't hidden. They just moved into the cover of the forest for now, right?
Correct. Exactly. You can see them running through the woods. They're also trying to stay out of the direct sunlight.
got it.
All right. So they're actually just in the woods, but running in our direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nasir will just yell out, "The drow coming through the trees! Beware!" While he moves up to get basically clear line of sight, and then he'll launch a couple bolts at Smash.
Boom, boom.
That's
Nice.
oddly symmetric.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
So 20.
Especially since it's
26
half of the other roll.
Yep. So 26 necrotic to Smash. And then Seer's going to just, I guess, stay where he is since he can use the card as cover if the drow rush up. And I'm done.
Hiding behind the tent and the cart, poke around, zap.
Yep.
Thorin. A blast came over and popped the werebore. It looks at anger, but it sees you in front of it.
Thorn's gonna attack the werewolf.
Okay, and
Oh,
you got
that's
the one guy trying to stab you in the back.
In the bag. Thorn's not worried about him. 8 damage on so a 30 with
Yeah,
a
you,
smash.
you hit.
8 damage on that
30.
one.
Oh, freaking 30.
And I think he's gonna make one more attack, and it's only a 14.
You can add a D4 to that.
To both attacks?
Oh, sorry. No,
Yeah,
it was only one.
Only one. Okay, I was making sure.
My bad.
Who's that against, the boar or the rat?
That'll probably be the boar again.
Armor class 10.
10? Oh hell yes.
Nice.
No armor.
Oh wait, he's a natural armor and boar hybrid form. He's in boar. He has 11 in hybrid form. Ooh, still hit him.
All right, so 7, so 8 plus 15 damage total.
Nice. That mean the second one's 15, or the total is 15 of both?
Total is 15 of both.
Okay, I already took some off. Let me just do the other one. No, I didn't.
He's chonky.
Blast coming in from every which way. He's starting to look frantic as well. He goes, Filligan, run!
As he's saying that, Thorn just starts shaking his head.
I suggest that.
All right, that's the end of his turn. He's not going to move anywhere at the moment.
Udo.
I guess I will follow Nasir's lead and huck my trident at the drow that he's already attacked.
Go for it.
Oh, I attacked the werebore.
That's right. I know. He saw which one he was going after, though.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And rolled hit.
Well, since it's a +1 weapon. Sorry.
Let's see. Nope. The first one hits unless you have advantage on all of them.
I do not see why I would. But only
Oh,
that
don't
is-
forget your bonuses though. You cast it on yourself.
I did. Okay.
D4 or whatever.
To the
clean hit.
It does.
Perfect.
Exactly.
So 23 points of damage.
Oh, runs the guy through completely. You see the drow running, and it just sort of picks him up off his feet and pins him against a tree as he screams out in agony.
And like wasps start eating away at him too.
That's, yeah, meat bees.
Gross.
Meat bees. That's terrible.
Sorry.
Love it.
And he falls flat as it returns to me.
Nice. As he crumples off of the tree and falls to the ground.
And I will fly 10 more feet into the air, so I'm 20 feet up. I don't know how to add a little number to the.
You just hover over the little thing and hit a number on your keyboard.
So the item icon of the wings, you can,
Yeah.
if you put your mouse over, like you would select it and then just hit a number.
And it's not that important either. All right.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that should be it.
Eagle's gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and just say, I'm right behind you. It's digging. It's digging.
You hear Nasir whips around and curses in a foreign tongue.
Yes, that's me.
All right, let me move him 6. I think it's there. Oh, lucky. Too far. All right. Nope, it moved the action token and not the dude. Okay, that's new. Like, well, that's new. Okay, well, I'll move him afterwards. I'm trying to get him to go up there. So the where are you at up here in the battle? The gray-haired man that's here. You hear him whispering over to you here, Nasir, as he moves up next to you as well. Oop, wrong direction. Is everything okay? Do you guys have this in hand?
Get down!
The rest of them are trying to keep it clear, and this guard decides they're going to move back a little bit when he sees the drow getting closer. This guy does as well. Werebore. Oh. The werebore does it, takes a disengage action. Does your sentry thing actually stop him? Because he's going to try to run away if he doesn't disengage.
I'll
You
post
want
it
to
up
disengage? Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll post them.
That's what he thinks. He dodges low and starts rolling away. Yep, there it is. Second bullet. Zap him. Yeah, that'll do.
8 damage. And then he goes nowhere else if it doesn't kill him.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. He snarls and realizes he's not going anywhere at all. The drow continue to move closer. Nope, that was the wrong one. Whatever. Mr. Bullywug decides to beat feet, or slap feet, and runs away. Oh, his little token. That's funny. I cannot grab the people tonight. I think it's supposed to be under him, and for some reason it's coming in over him.
The bullywugs, the poor guys.
All right, hello, mouse.
We've done this to them twice now. They'll tell stories about us.
Yes.
Leave them alive.
Real croakers. All right. He's dead. he's just going to try to stab. He sees the desperateness of his situation, that they can't even run away from you. And he tries to stab you with this blade again. If I can bring up his character sheet. There we go. 21 hit.
Oh, you got me. Yep.
Finally got you for 8, though. Oh, that's maximum damage for his weapon. A very nervous titter laughter comes out of him, like he has an idea this is maybe going to work. And he stabs at you again. With a 20.
Well, you got me again. Hey, I traded that out for something.
Smash! I got this, Smash! I got this!
Doran's gonna play into it. He's like,
Oh, he got me.
Here. You're up, Rick, here.
Yep, I see it. I'm deciding where I'd like to move. Perhaps right here, towards all these drow. Rick will run up and say hello. And draw his sword and ready an attack for if they enter his range. And that'll be it.
Again, you're 5 feet away.
Yes, I'm just...
Yeah. I'm going to find you a
just
magic
slow-
item that lets you get 5 feet more movement.
Maybe I
Okay,
should be carrying around like a spear or something.
here you go.
Hey, Adam, do these guys get to save at the end of their turn, or are they just...
Nope.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's why Hypnotic Pattern is so good. You can literally basically like crowd control an entire group of enemies for entire combat with luck.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's awesome.
And Gary.
Flying down 10 feet and over 5, 10, 15, 20 feet to there. 20 feet of his movement. He will harry and provide the help action. And then he'll fly 10 feet back up for 30, 50, 55, 60, and he'll start moving over in the area, direction of the threat, or the drow threat. That'll be it.
Mal, it's gonna take 5 back. Can he slide underneath or try and get below the between the horses and the front, or does he have to go over?
You can go under easily.
Okay.
They're large in size.
Slide under. Get here, and give him a stabby stab with Rappy.
Oh, that'll hit.
Yeah, nice. 22.
Oh, finishes him off.
Awesome.
He's yelling over there, Smash! I got this! And you run over and, "Yeah!" And he drops to the ground.
Nope. And then he'll pop back underneath the cart here. There we go.
No, I have another reason why. I just remembered, I was thinking, why is this working so badly? I remembered, oh yeah, last time I was building this, I do it at like 10 in the morning when nobody's playing games, and so the server runs really well.
Oh.
I don't even notice that there's problems. Oh well. Orin, or Odin. Blah.
Question. With spells that throw multiple bolts of something that each have their own individual attack roll, do you have to call all of your targets prior to casting any, or do you call them one at a time?
If you want to call them one at a time and roll them one at a time, that's fine by me.
Okay.
As long as the spell says that is okay. I think that's more fun anyways. But tell me how many beams you got to say that up front.
Right, of course. Ordin's going to cast a Scorching Ray, which is going to give him 3 beams. First one, at least, is going to go towards Smash up there. Yeah, it's not like magic missile. I know what you mean. That says that. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
fine with that.
Where the fuck is it? There it is. All right. Smash. First one, 20 to hit for 6. And I'm gonna go ahead and use a power surge to give that 3 more points of damage. So call it 9.
And I was playing with my music. Which person were you hitting them? Sorry.
Smash.
Smash. Oh, okay. I keep forgetting that's his name, even though I keep saying it. Okay. So 9 points total.
Yep.
That'll
I'm
do.
guessing he's probably still up.
Yes, he is. He's a big beast.
That's 15 to hit.
Oh, that's gonna hit. He's got like an 11 or something stupid.
Oh, that's right. For 7 more. And if he's still up, we'll launch the third one at him too.
He's still up, but you can tell that he's barely. He's staggering around, frantically trying to figure out where these beams are coming from that are blasting him away. Catches your eye as the last one comes rolling over, and does 1 more hit point than he has. He drops.
Nice.
Just, ah! And then he collapses to the ground, pointing at you.
And then Orden will yell, "Drow to the south!" just to reinforce for anyone that didn't hear. And there's no more threats to the north that I can perceive, right?
No.
So as he runs
Go ahead and make perception
south,
checks, though, since you're looking around.
Cheer.
Oh,
Wow.
that is good enough to spot the people moving in from the east.
So he yells that about Drow to the south, starts running to the south, and then catches the movement, jerks his head back real quick, and says, "More to the east!" and heads back the other way. The reason that's significant is I think I just moved outside of and then back into Thorin's 30-foot radius, so he probably felt the Yep, I certainly did. You would have, Thorin, you would have felt the benefit from Odo go away as Orden ran away and then resume when he came back. And I think that's only important because now we know that there's a distance limitation, you know?
All right.
And movement, I just did what, 5, 10, 15, 20. I have a little more. Move 10 feet more to the east. How far away is the threat to the east?
Now that I've taped my DM shield to the wall, I see there's actually a table for that. And it says forest 2d8 times 10. Let's roll that.
In feet or in squares?
I'll look at the map again when I get up there.
I guess it shouldn't be in squares if it's times 10.
Yeah, it's probably feet then.
Wow. Close.
They're very stealthy. Did that actually roll right? Because I tried to do times 10 and I just got a 2. It doesn't really say what the roll was.
Yeah, I don't think that actually rolled anything.
Now, let me just do that again. 2d8. Okay, 80 feet off. 12 squares off from the from the edge of the tent. So they're a little bit off the map still.
So not as big a threat as the Drow, but enough to keep me where I'm at.
Yeah, and you can see multiple movement going along to the trees, things flitting along, trying to be stealthy and quiet.
Did I get a glimpse of what they might be?
Looks like more drow, maybe.
He'll yell that out too then. More to the east, potentially more Drow, and he'll run back the other way and pretty much end where he started.
Nasir. All these people are huddled around you right now.
All right.
It's a very tight corner.
Protect the steer.
All right. Nasir will basically break out from cover just to get a clear line of sight on the Drow down here.
Okay.
Oh, come on, game. Don't do this
I
to
know.
me. There we go. And he will fire at this guy down here, the front runner.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Excellent.
assume first hits, second misses.
First hit, second misses, I believe. I believe that is true. I'll hear that. Yes.
Okay, so not great rolls, but 12 necrotic damage to him.
Spins him around and drops him to the ground, but he doesn't look like he's dead, but he's not moving. He curled up into a ball.
All right, then I will bonus action, link back here, and then push past the old man. And I'll be like, stay down, and go into the tent undercover, and I'm done.
Orin.
All right. Thorn's gonna run over here. Still within 30 feet of Orden. He's gonna. Oda's right here as well now. But Thorn's gonna drop his longsword, pull his longbow, and take 2 pop shots down there. If you can still see the one that the steer shot, you will go after him.
You're on the ground? He's on the ground, though, literally.
Oh,
You'll
that's
have to take a
disadvantage.
disadvantage.
Yeah, never mind that. He'll go to one standing up still. Then
There's one guy looking down at him. Behind him. That'll hit. And second one is going to miss.
I'm gonna use my bless for that one.
Oh, well, then it's going to hit. You only need one more.
All right, there you go.
So the first arrow flies through the woods, pops the guy good. He spins around sideways, the drow. You see him fumbling for a weapon or something to return fire, trying to pull up his hand crossbow. The second shot looks like it was going to miss, but happens to bounce off of the edge of a tree. Just moves a little bit and sticks him and drops him to the ground with a lucky shot. Let's see if I can get him. Come on.
It was 14 damage as well. Those 2s are not counted.
Let's do it. They have 13.
Oh, heck yeah, then.
So, oops, that'll work.
I was going to say you also have a D4 if you haven't used it yet.
Oh, we did to get that hit.
Oh.
Yeah, but I
bless.
only needed one more, but so I just didn't roll it.
There you go. Now what?
All right, that's the end of his turn then.
Oh no, the drow are dropping fast, but you hear people yelling that there's people coming in from behind you as well over on the east.
If I take a quick peek back there, do I see anything?
Make a perception check, because they're actively hiding. $17's gonna do it.
Okay.
So yes, you can see that there is pretty much 2 to 3 times the number of drow you just fought are moving in a tight group through the woods heading in this direction.
Okay. I'll move 10 feet closer, and if I can see one of them, I will definitely trident them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You hit from almost damn near any range. Yes, you can. They're not even on the map yet, but you can take a swing at one of them, or shot at one of them. Unless you have advantage, those are all missing.
We have one bless.
It automatically used the bless to get the 17.
Oh, where's the 17 at? I don't even see that.
The perception.
Oh, check.
I'll use guidance. Gotcha.
Well, he wouldn't have seen them if you hadn't gotten that, anyways.
So, nope.
All right.
But they do see where my trident is flying towards, if that helps anyone else.
All right.
They're there in the distance. Ah.
What's Deacon did to do?
Deacon's going to quietly walk around to the other side of the wagon.
Oh, to where all the dead rat are?
Yep. Just hang out over here on the other side of the wagon.
Invisible and out of the way.
Yep. Ready to help if needed.
Okay. So far, nobody's even gotten touched.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, it's actually Thorin, I think, was the only one. He got stabbed in the back.
Dirty little fucking rats.
Rakir, the drow in front of you whistles something. It sounds like must be some sort of communication code or something, and starts stepping back further into the woods, but levels his hand crossbow. I think he has a hand crossbow. If I get his character sheet up. All right, that's why. We'll use Roll20. Drow. Yep, there he is. Hand crossbow. With a +7 to hit, he rolls a 10.
That doesn't hit, unfortunately.
I don't think so. Miss one shot is all he gets for that, and he's going to fall back a full move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, I got the damn counter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He flees as well. Nasir, you're dived into the tent. Is that where you are?
Yep.
Okay. Do you see the old man poke his head in as the pokes around the edge, looks in and looks around a bit? That's all right, young man. I'll take care of this. The old guy then at that point goes rushing by the front of the tent, heading towards the woods. Is anybody even in eye shot of him anymore? Orden is the only one. Orden and Odo. Orden and Odo, you see the old man is running. He then takes a jump near the end of it, jumps up a little bit in the air, and turns into a metallic small dragon about the size of a horse.
A
No
horse?
shit.
That's nifty.
Like a Kieran?
Well, it's a large one. I gotta move her token up.
Like a wyvern of some kind?
Looks like he's made out of metal of some sort, either silver, platinum, mercury, something. Just bright, bright silver.
My god, it's the second god we met. It's Bahamut.
Oh, wait. So is it a dragon or is it a horse?
It's a dragon, the size of a horse. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
large size, sorry.
It's
So
really
this a smallish dragon.
really short Bahamut.
Little dragon then. Yeah, named Kevin, exactly.
Justifiable.
Kevin then looks over that direction into the forest, and you see this misty breath come flying out of him and rattles through the trees and the bushes as he sort of breathes down over the whole area with his breath weapon. If I can open his character sheet.
Oh, thank god those bullywugs ran away. Those poor bastards. They're not meant for combat.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not meant for combat. I like that.
So I assume so Nasir hears this guy run away, then all of a sudden he hears basically the huge flapping of wings to the east.
Yeah, and an obvious roar of a dragon and the
so-
sound of a breath weapon of some sort go roaring out through there, and the trees rattling and branches breaking.
Awesome. So Nasir poops himself because he has no idea that that's an ally.
Yeah.
The bullywug.
It must be pretty sure the old man was lunch.
Yeah,
I'll
the old
take
man
care of
was
this, boy.
Old man was just eaten by something.
Oh man ran out. And all you hear is a dragon.
Better him than me, shit.
And the werebore is even alive still? No, he's
No.
dead. He's on the initiative.
Orden blew him up.
Boom. And drow start running at this point when the dragon shows up, the few surviving ones. He's already dead. That bullywug is running. And unless anybody wants to chase after or you want to do anything, Rick, here, I think we're going to call it done here.
I'm grabbing this one.
You're gonna rush up and hit him?
No, I'm gonna rush up and grapple him.
Okay.
Let's see, that's competing athletics, right?
Yeah.
Thor's just shaking his fist.
Oh, damn it.
Well, he only has a 10 strength. Let's see how he does. I rolled a 5. You win.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, do it again.
Why do we do it again?
You have 2 attacks. One grapple, and second one basically second one prone him.
Oh.
Oh, it's true. All right then. That's much better.
Nope.
Oh.
He's fighting against you on that one. This skinny little elf somehow either wiggles enough and puts enough strength in, he's not going down to the ground.
No, you don't. You're not
still
running
got him,
away. And then, yeah, that'll be it.
All right. The rest of them flee as you get the one. And it gets real quiet. Except for the people start moving around. You hear the person underneath this little sobbing sound. You realize it's coming from the guy underneath the cart.
Mal will just kind of reach out and be like, "It's okay, we won."
Horton will
So-
stride straight up to the noble and be like, "Who the hell's that?" Pointing over at the.
The noble's just standing there. The sword is at the ground on his feet. He's just staring at the dragon.
Desir runs out, arms ready to cast a spell. Sees that the dragon's silver and pauses in confusion.
Rakir will drag this drow back to the group. Hey guys, good look, I got one.
I got one. Look what I caught.
Is that one going to fight back?
No, not at this point. It's squinting in the sunlight, too.
Nice catch. Mal's gonna go over and check the bodies of the other drow, see if they have any more of their special bolts.
If everyone, 30 seconds, the bullywugs will come back.
Oh yes. Mel,
The
will
dragon looks over at you all and... Don't worry about that. And he flaps up and flies over towards the bullywugs.
Wait, don't kill the bullywugs.
I guess. This year will drop the spell so the bullywugs come back to their senses. As
Okay.
the dragon gets near.
The dragon's flapping and the bullywugs start making weird croaking noises and frantically hopping and running away
Run away, bullywugs.
as it flops down towards the ground. And then the dragon sort of lands there and kicks up to some dirt with its wings and then
So
slowly
Orton would
walks back towards you guys.
again insist to the noble, "Who was the old man? Why was he with you?"
Well, he's a veteran. He said he knew the route. That's the best. Well, the guy that got us lost.
Wait. Oh. Mal,
What?
come talk to the scaly fellow, or lass.
Hey, what's your name?
My friends call me Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Wait, really?
That's a great name.
Thank you.
Gary flies over and flaps his wing and nods his little owl head to an equal.
Yeah,
Did you bring these guys here?
sort of. We were on our way to the north, but I saw some trouble, and I thought maybe we should take a look at it. You hear the noble grumbling. "Well, I'm paying you now. That wasn't your job."
He says, well, we're heading, I think, where are we going? Dirkton?
Dirk Creek.
Upper Dirkton? Dirk Creek.
You swear the dragon raises an eyebrow as you say that and sort of looks at you. Interesting. I didn't make you for that type of person.
Oh, we're not at all. No, we're here
What
to...
type of person goes to Dirt Creek?
Only
it-
the bad types.
Is it Dirk like the dagger or Dirk
Yes.
like the
No, it's
ground?
Dirk like the dagger.
Okay.
I originally called it Daggerford until I got my map in the mail today and saw there's a big city called Daggerford just south of Waterdeep. It's like, oh shit. So now it's Dirk Ford. Or Creek.
One moment, do we need this drow for anything?
Yeah, if he's got any bolts on him, grab him.
I talked to him. Do you have any
Yes.
bolts on you?
Grumbles and undoes his belt and his stuff falls to the ground.
Do we need him for anything else?
Orton hefts
Yes.
his staff and said, "We could crack a couple kneecaps,
I
crawl
Fine.
out of here."
Find out what his house is, and what his business is to the south.
Yeah, I'll just drag him into a corner and basically good cop him. Like, listen, man, just tell me where your thing is, or else I gotta let you talk to the guy who's gonna crack your kneecaps.
Or the little guy will stand back there playing bad cop, looking gruff,
And the
hefting his
dragon comes
staff.
over to watch as well. But it seems to be more along the lines of watching you all to see what you do rather than what the drow does.
Listen. What house do you work for?
He gives you a name and something in drow speak, which you haven't heard before.
I have no idea what that means.
Hey,
All right.
James.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just because he's so bad at it and it's comedic, I would love to give you an intimidation roll.
Go for it. As he's glaring down. You can do it at an advantage, though, because you have a dragon standing behind your shoulder.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And we're going to wrap it up here in a moment, too.
I-
Nice
I- I sor-
roll.
Cool.
Nice. I sort of yell it out to Nasir. Nasir does sound familiar to you.
Nope. I'll write that down. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see here. Is there anything else you want to know?
What is business in Dirk Creek?
Yes. Do you know of in this Dirk Creek?
Well, the only one that knew what the business was took off in the woods.
I
And he
see.
points off.
I see. So this was some sort of targeted attack?
Opportunity.
I see. So
This
you don't
group would have gone for a very good price in the arena.
I see. All right.
Of course, we didn't know there was a dragon among them.
Yes. They were targeting this group for some reason. Nasir.
What reason?
They would have fetched a good price in the arena. Someone put a price out for them.
Wait. Do only slaves fight in the arena?
Do only slaves fight in the arena?
No, well, slaves do fight. They're like the opening act. After that, though, it's those with disagreements and those with something to prove. And there's also cash prizes.
Those with disagreements or something to prove. Fetch for the higher prices.
Yes. Find out how the arena works from him if you can. Then do what you will with him.
All right. How does this arena work?
Okay. Well,
What are the
he gives
rules?
you a bit of detail, as much as he knows for the few times that, and he lets you know there's a couple ways. I mean, one way is that the town doesn't allow any type of violence whatsoever, though it still happens a lot. But if you get caught doing anything like that, then the knockers, which is the name of their police force, they will take you to the arena and you will have to fight something. Also, people can fight each other. If you call a group out, you can settle your disagreements in there. They have a might is right type of philosophy. So if you need to prove that you are the right winner of a lawsuit, you just basically have to beat up everybody else to show that you
God,
have
they're
the
like
right.
the Telvanni.
Yeah, it's a little Viking type thing or whatever. So that's their way of this. They say it's actually, as long as you don't do anything wrong and draw too much attention enough that someone might want to try to break the rules, then it's actually a very safe town.
I see. Are you
And
heading
it's only
back there?
about not
Yeah, you're
now. No,
heading-
they're all running off. They're heading out
I see. Where are you going after this?
north to the woods.
Yeah, you live there?
Cragsmaw Castle.
All right.
That's what the
Do you-
goblins called it.
Do you live at Cragsmaw Castle?
Live? Let's call it occupy. I don't think anybody can live up here.
Mercure nods. Does he have any other larger weapons? Because he already took off his belt. Does he have a knife or something?
He's dropped all those types of things. They were all connected to the belt in some way or form.
All right.
He had a short sword and a hand crossbow and an eating dagger.
All right. I sort of let him go after that. All right. I think that's it. You can head off
Hear the
now.
dragon. Well,
I'm
Rakir,
just not
I'm
pretending
gla-
to look menacing.
I'm glad I didn't have to eat you, Rakir. The dragon
What?
says as it turns around and walks off.
What?
Yes. Wait.
What?
Kevin.
You did good, man.
Kevin snaps his head around, looks over in your direction as he comes back over towards you.
Nasir gives him a bow and then moves over and basically sort of hauls Mal by one arm next to the dragon. So a good dragon. It is good of you. Good to meet you. We very much appreciate your help to avoid the bloodshed here today.
What did I
What
just hit?
the-
Hit play. I know. I said, what did I just hit? Hit a button.
No
The
more
dragon
fighting.
attacks.
No dragon.
So,
Oh, I see. The soundtrack moved on to the next song, which is called Bar Fight.
so our friend from Waterdeep, he says, motioning over to the noble, says that perhaps that your guidance got them lost and left you in this area. I was wondering if perhaps there was something more to this this mistake.
Not so much. There's refugees coming up this way from Saltmarsh. They're about a day and a half away, maybe 2 days. And I thought maybe we should clear the roads a bit.
See, but we certainly do thank Sir Lally for your intervention. It was most fortuitous, he says, giving Mal a little buddy hug, waiting to see if the dragon reacts to that name.
The dragon nods his head a little bit, backs up, and turns back into an old man. I lost my old man token. I was copying
Guys,
something.
I gotta call.
I know you gotta go.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and Mal is just gonna be.
Well, we're gonna wrap it there. I'm gonna switch. Let me switch you to maps real quick, just because I have to show up my neat little town. If you have anything you want to go back and talk about later, we'll do that, and then we'll end on that.
That dragon said he was going to eat me.
We said he wasn't going to eat you.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
glad he doesn't have to eat him now.
Well, I didn't even. I'm more afraid that was on the table at some point.
I guess he's waiting to see if you're going to be a bad dude or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Gordon walks
right.
over and claps you on the back and says, "Good job not being eaten."
if anybody wants to make an arcane roll as we roll out of here, I'll let you know more about silver dragons. Otherwise, coming across this little town as we end it, you can see a slummy little town ahead of you that is rotting and falling apart in disrepair, but has lots of people wandering around in it. Just across the creek area is a person leaning into the water, pulling, looks like maybe some beer or something up out of the water that's been chilling. There's a big ogre sitting on a rock watching him, scratching itself.
It's all black for us, James.
Oh,
Are we on the wrong layer?
maybe, I don't think so.
I was like, dang,
Where
this
we
is
need
a really
tokens.
this is a really grimy town.
Yeah, I can't. I
I guess-
can't actually click my token. The river moved.
Oh, undo that. I'll go back. Okay, let's try. What layer are these little buggers on? Layer, map layer. That doesn't work real well. The person across the street, across the creek there, waves over to you. Welcome. And we'll end it there.
Still all black for me.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get. I don't.
If you
I
drag
only
your
can do them one. If I could, but unfortunately, I'm grabbing map and stuff as I try to select a group because we're on the map layer.
No worries. We'll see it next week.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
there
you,
it is.
If you drag your token
Oh,
on,
I just dragged myself
upper,
onto it.
yeah,
There you go.
that's why I did too, and that fixed it because I can't select my the
Perfect.
token's already on the board. Wait, now I can. Okay,
Now you got two of them,
even better.
It's my new technique.
and we'll
Cloning.
leave it there.
What's that one fighter subclass that can do that?
Oh, the Echo Fighter.
Yeah,
Nice.
Echo Knight. Yeah,
So I bought a new art set. I got to show you this little side area down here.
Good thing. That is
It's for the same guy that's been doing all my other maps. I'm gonna have
is-
to go back and work on Saltmarsh now.
nice.
one decrepit slum.
I like how all the art actually kind of like matches itself. You know, the ground
Mm-hmm.
and the buildings and everything. That's actually pretty nice.
It's all from the same guy. Just stuck with his art.
Yeah, that's very cool. I appreciate the consistency. Yeah, consistency of quality.
So,
All right.
guys,
Thank
we
you
will
for the
pick up
game.
there in a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that
Another
was fun.
successful
man.
day.
Yeah, I got to say that actually silver dragons are my favorite dragon.
Are they?
The one dragon that doesn't act like an asshole, whether it's good or evil.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with a gold one.
Yeah, golds are good, but they're usually not particularly basically friendly or understanding.
No,
Silvers
they're like
usually are.
they remind me of like second edition paladins. It's
Yeah.
just, let's just kill all the evil. But it's a little old lady making bread. Kill it.
Yeah, like, ever since I read Dragonlance, I've always liked silver dragons.
Yeah.
What was that?
Me
Sylvana?
too.
Wasn't that the name of the one there?
That does ring a bell.
Something really obvious sounding as
Yeah.
far as names go.
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of Kevin, but
Well, his name is Kevinton, but yeah, people blow that, and he just goes by
You
Kevin.
won't find him
people.
in the lore.
Yeah, well, you might. Just gotta look for him. Little deeds.
That's fair. He's young still.
He is. He's like only a couple years old.
Wait, what? 2-year-old?
Yeah, 2-year-old. All right. Well, guys, thank you very much.
Yeah, that was
Thanks,
fun.
James. Thanks for
That's a
running.
very fun game.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
See y'all.
Take it easy, guys.
Are we meeting together in 2 weeks?
Yes, I don't think we have any breaks except for Thanksgiving. No, not even
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 2 weeks is Thanksgiving, literally.